All right, we are live. I would like to thank Jared, Goran, and Keith for watching, since they are likely going to be the only people who come back and watch this on YouTube if possible. Um, the rest of you who have mistakenly come by, I also appreciate it. We are running another 5e one shot through the RPG tabletop group. This is kind of a desert themed wizard tower adventure that I've come up with, and I wrote a pretty simple story using Forgotten Realms, and then some of our character creators like blew their character creation out of the park, so I had to go back and make myself look a little bit better. But with that, I'll go ahead and let the people introduce themselves, pimp whatever channels or small businesses they own, and then uh, maybe a little backstory to their character. So, Keith, do you want to start? Preferably unmuted would help.
Fuck, everybody's a critic. Okay. Hi, I'm Keith. I'll be playing as Hagugal, the half-orc barbarian. He's kind of unusual because he's an orc, but he is lawful good. His background is that he came from an area that's um, pretty full of strife and trouble, and he got used to caring for himself. He left his hometown pretty early and grabbed a hold of the first boat leaving the port, and now he's off the boats and looking for a way to redeem himself. His past is pretty dark, but he wants to prove everyone wrong that half orcs aren't all bad. And I'm also known as X-Dad on YouTube by about 11 people. But yeah, that's me.
All right, thank you. Looking forward to playing with you. All right, Jared.
All right, let me go ahead and make sure that I'm unmuted. I'm Jared. I don't have any reputable YouTube channel. I think I have like one broadcasted video of my first DMA experience of Lost Mines, which is just a part one. But anyway, that was like a long time ago. Today I am very excited to be playing this one shot. The plot sounds really awesome, and it led to probably my best character creation ever. It's just kind of started writing itself after I read the plot. But anyway, I'm going to be playing Ander Planeswalker. He's a 52-year-old human wizard who has taken it upon himself to finish his late parents' lifelong quest of uncovering some specific information within the Purple Plains. And this quest goes beyond just his personal quest to finish what his parents started, but it kind of ties into his relationship and history and hopefully future with the locals, as the information that he's looking for could possibly uncover some of their lost ancient history of their past. So yeah, looking forward to playing, and this could be a lot of fun.
All right, not worry, I don't have a reputable YouTube channel either. And finally, last and least, Goran.
Hi. My character wrote itself as well because it's a pre-gen. I'm playing a human paladin called Francis, who takes much more care of his presentability and proper conduct than anything that would rationally be in his self-interest, despite him being a paragon of pragmatism. He has joined this venture to gloat on some of the investments made in the excavation and little else.
All right. Well, there's your character, and without any more ado, let's just jump into the backstory. As all your characters should be aware, in this desert setting of the plains of purple dust of Mahurland, there's a tale of a great wizard named Archimedes. And he was a human wizard, and most of his life, he moved to the desert so he could ignore all civilization and begin crafting magical spells that was just as powerful as any magic controlled by the gods. And after about 80 years alive, he finally created a legendary item called the Staff of Life. And this is a staff that has healing powers, it's a staff that can resurrect from the dead. And upon creating this immortal object, he began becoming aware of his own mortal being. And so he quickly hid this item in a hidden tower with presumably traps and beasts guarding it. And then he also hid it because he didn't really trust other wizards and other magicians, especially elves, since elves were going to greatly outlive him. So Archimedes returns to his home, and for centuries he continues to study, he continues to live just by drinking vitality potions and health potions. And finally, when he had reached about 300 years of age, much older than any human should live, he felt his body becoming frail, and he was about to make the journey back to the tower, where he could die with this rod in his hand, thus allowing himself to become immortal and resurrecting back to life. However, there's a funny, ironic tale that just as he was drinking his very last vitality potion, instead of drinking it as normal, some of the liquid got in his lungs, and he basically drowned in that liquid.
He asphyxiated on it?
Asphyxiation. Yeah, thank you, doctor. Yeah. Asphyxiated, I thought was a dirty word.
That serves you right, you fucking nerds.
But yeah, and like this story had been joked about, especially Francis as a paladin would probably appreciate this story of people trying to catch up to gods and really
Screwing themselves?
Yeah, screwing themselves. And this story would just have been regarded as legend or something that clerics tell the congregation to get them to obey deities. Mm-hmm. However, a few years ago, many spellbooks were donated to the University Library of Mahurland, and one of these books would have probably been forgotten among all the others in the dark, dungeonish annals of unread annals, I guess, of unread.
6 of one, half dozen the other.
The dark dungeonish anal, but
It's pretty synonymous, I think.
yeah, in the annals. This is why no one watches these videos.
This is why they should.
They should. Fuck. We're
However,
pulling books out of our ass.
However, it was not forgotten because a professor at the school, Dr. Kalinorian Loverell, or he goes by Cal because I'm not going to pronounce that name every time. He begins reading this book, and he realizes that even though it's encrypted, it is actually the spell book / journal of Archimedes. And through really years of reading it and decrypting it, he finds out that the location of where this hidden tower with the legendary Staff of Life is, he now has the answer to. So during his sabbatical year, he went out and he got some benefactors, and he took a group of grad students, along with hiring a couple additional scouts, some extra muscle for protection, and even some, native people of the land, which are the Sludar, which, basically, during the Spell War, if you think of like Chernobyl except magic, these are creatures who the radiation almost of the magic has caused them to be deformed. Mm-hmm. However, they're still the Bedouins of the area. And so it is on this mission where for months you have been digging in what seems like it should be the location, However, through multiple sites within that couple-mile region, nothing has been found. And with nothing being found, Cal, he put his reputation at stake. He's, given up this year. He's given up most of his additional studies. Even though he teaches at the university, he's by no means an arcane wizard. He's really more of a history person. So he doesn't have any of the magic skills that perhaps the rest of you have, or at least Ander would have. But we're going to begin by, Cal being kind of worried, wondering what his colleagues will think of him, wondering what the benefactors will think of him. And so this high elf sage, his face is tan and kind of leathered from the winds of the desert and the heat radiating down, enters a tent, all dusty. And while on the outside, all of the mongrel folk of the Shudar, all of the grad students, are all dusty and dirty through the sand. However, as he enters this tent, it's the tent of very beautiful, almost as if this tent was located in a city. Besides the sand on the ground, you could hardly tell it was outdoor. And this tent is going to belong to Francis. And so Cal walks into Francis's tent and nervously, Francis, I apologize that I still haven't found anything, but I promise if you give me, just a little bit more money, if you give me 2 more months, we're right on the location. I know we are. I'll find it.
Francis looks up lazily and then notions the naked girl next to him to get up and go into the hanging bucket shower as he gets up and gets dressed himself. No problem, my dear fellow. You take as much time as you like.
Thank you for your graciousness. I promise, whatever we find, whatever treasures, you will get your payment back.
Fantastic.
And so Cal, kind of confused, both by, your mercy, but also by seeing one of his grad students naked in your bed, walks out of the tent. And as he walks out, he's going to run into another, actually he can run into a human who, although this human is, over 100 years younger, they both look about middle age. And he's going to run into Ander. And he's just going to look at you, shaking his head, wondering is, Francis planning something behind my back? Why is he being so nice to me? He's going to go to Ander and go, you are also a man of the arcane art. Do you have any clue why we cannot find it?
And he kind of reaches up and pulls at his mustache a little bit. Kind of looks off into the distance, looks down at his feet, snaps a little bit, and he says, I recall as a child my dad would tell me that legendary artifacts such as this, legendary places, some magic users would take years upon years of going into great detail and hiding it, making sure none would ever come across where it lies or the contents within. But I think we're close.
Well, it's in the book. I found the locations. I'm sure I've translated it right. Every night I stay awake, re-encrypting it. It's supposed to be right here.
Let me take a look at what it is you have. Maybe I might be able to help decipher the exact location, or perhaps point us in another direction.
All right. And so he very carefully hands over this ancient book to you, and Do you have anything like comprehend languages or?
I do, yeah, I have that. But most importantly, I have the 5th level spell Legend Lore.
Oh, nice.
So I was planning on, maybe using that.
All right, legend lore.
Yeah. I've got one 5th level spot, and I picked that one to use it for. Basically, I could take any information that I'm aware of a specific person, place, or thing, and try to figure out any more information that I possibly can. It says that the more information I know about it, the more accurate the information I receive is. But it could be like in a riddle of some kind or something like that.
All right.
Was there a name for that staff?
It's called the Staff of Life.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
there might be like a different name for it.
No, that would take creativity on the GM's part.
Got it.
But yeah, that takes about 10 minutes to cast. So you'll be looking over the book, and what took years for Cal to do, you begin to see, these riddles and pictures be put together, and you see these pictures, but almost like one of those 3D puzzles that if you look at it in the right way, the 3D image pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost see like through these drawings, kind of lines begin getting erased, and just this will take a little bit of time, but by the time I come back to you, you should have a better idea of where it might be.
Yeah, I just imagine Ander kind of excitedly takes the book, because he's used to carrying around his own as far as his spell book and his ritual books, and he kind of looks up at Cal with a not really surprised expression, but an excited, raised eyebrows. His smile kind of pokes up from behind his beard, kind of showing the little scar on his right cheek, and those crystal blue eyes just seem to shine under the sun, and he kind of walks away towards his own little makeshift tent, and you see him sit down right outside, right in front of it, as he kind of slowly opens up the leather cover, and his eyes just lock in on concentration as he's looking for anything he can find within the book.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you something to kind of ponder on. This book being old, a couple of pages are ripped, some of the ink is wearing out.
Okay.
However, on the page that has like the drawings and the writing to the location, most people would think this is just age, but it almost looks like down the middle of the page it's been folded, and this is just kind of the picture of a dune, just the sand, emptiness of the desert, wavy, and then you see the tower. However, there's a certain way to fold the paper. That I'm
Like
trying
that.
to.
Like that great orc magazine, the Mad magazine in the back.
I'm not that old, but yeah, whatever.
The Mad magazines where the little triangles on them, you fold them together, and it takes one.
Yeah,
picture.
almost,
Exactly.
almost like. One sec. I was expecting to draw something like this, but yeah, almost. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, camera. And it's much better drawing than what I just drew, but almost like this. However, there might be a way to fold it, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of, and you can tell that Cal is hiding behind, like you, making sure you don't do anything with the book. And he looks over to where his navigators are supposed to be. You see a large half-orc kind of towering under some mongrel folk, who are these creatures who have been kind of disformed during the spell plague. And they all look kind of different, as if they've been kind of mutinized by the radiation. But some of them kind of have the Yoda head and like missing hair. And he goes, "I know we should have hired some better scouts." And as he looks over, you see this half-orc beginning to argue with the mongrel folk about how his tools are much better than their mongrel folks' legends of following the sun and the other Shan. You know.
Oh, morons!
And yeah, you see like them kind of like messing with your navigational tool, kind of poking at it, and going, no, no, you do not need this. Look at the sun. Look at the sand. Feel the wind.
Touch it again, you'll look at my axe. I swear by all the gods, if you put your hands on my tools, I'm gonna reach up through your asshole and pull a brain out of you from somewhere.
And roll intimidation.
Where's our rolling dice?
Dice stream.
Yeah.
It should be on the side. I'm not sure if the dice will show up because it messes up in Hangout sometimes.
Gotcha.
But
Here it comes. Mm-hmm. So 11 plus intimidation is 6, so I roll a 17.
oh yeah, and so they definitely begin backing away, and you almost think they might have already broken your tools because for whatever reason, the coordinates that were given to you should have led right here. However, as you look around you, there's numerous excavation sites where sand has been dug away and then kind of blown back in to refill as another hole is dug, and nothing has been found. So you're beginning to question either they have broken your tools or
Okay.
the directions weren't right in the first place.
So I'm kind of using a sextant, measuring the sun, and I take out and I get out a magnetometer, or what we would call a compass, and reading that. I'm trying to use a couple sites to find a place on a map. And every so often I touch my axe, and you can kind of almost, it's almost like I'm talking to the axe, like, no, god damn it, I know I did this right. I found my way from the middle of the godforsaken wasteland in the water. I can find my way in some moving damn sands. So I'll shoot over again and scribble something down.
How does do you say a magnetometer? Or-
They would float just a piece of cork and a magnetized piece of metal to kind of allow it to give them the idea of which direction was north. They didn't know it was a actual compass, but they used to call them different names. But the Vikings called them something that we call a magnetometer, but it was actually a compass. They just didn't know which way it was pointing.
Well, and as you are doing this, and you're kind of like walking around in circles thinking, well, this must be here, it seems like every now and then you'll hit a space where kind of like the magnet bounces and kind of shifts position really quick. And you think, well, this is strange. This is why you think that maybe the mongrel folk have broken it, because this magnet is reacting very strangely in some places. Yeah.
It just spins around, jumps around.
Exactly.
Okay, and almost like I'm talking to my axe, like, no, damn it, I know it shouldn't behave like this. I am not. And then I'm come back over to ask you. There's something wrong about this area. Never in all my travels have I run into this.
I think at this point, Andrew would come over after you hear the book he was holding slam down, not heavily, but closes it with kind of a sense of urgency. He jumps up and he kind of rushes over to your location, and he looks at you real inquisitively, and he says, let me take a look at those coordinates. What are the coordinates that you have here? I've spent a lot of my life traveling the sands of the Purple Plains, as well as my parents.
Okay.
Maybe with the information I found from this book, we can.
All right, so I open up the map I've drawn using the areas we know of, and the cartographer's tools and the map and the navigation tools to show where we are and where we were told to go. So I hand that to you, and I start explaining the way we came, which you were there, so you saw us coming.
Mm-hmm.
I show how I've been taking the path of the sun, which is of course known, going from the east to the west, and then using the magnet to show which is the direction directly towards Luskin from here, and or towards the north from here. I mean, try and explain to you, see how I can use those two plus the sighting of where that mountain is to triangulate where we are. And they think we're here, but I know that we're here where it's supposed to be. But then I show you the magnet, how I hold it, and I move it back over here, and it just starts to spin lazily in circles.
Yes.
And then I bring it back, and it points directly north again.
Francis, are you still in your tent at this point, or have you kind of listened in?
Francis exits the tent after having polished his armor and swings his cape to one side and sort of just looks around the area as he puts on his gloves.
I will let any of you make a survival or nature check. I will give advantage to both Ander and Hagigal. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Alright. Just because of your proficiencies and the spell you cast.
All right.
One's an 11, one's a 13. Survival is +3, so I have a 16.
Alright.
I have a 16 as well. I rolled an 11, and I have a +5 in my intelligence.
Yeah, did you even bother rolling, Francis?
I did, and I got what I deserved.
Okay. Yeah. Well, both of you begin realizing that even though you have like these tools and this, spell you cast, it's allowing you through the technology and knowledge to see something isn't lining up, and you begin realizing that just the way that the mounds of the sand just roll and there's no discernible features, this would be a really easy place to hide something, almost, camouflaged, where you could walk over or without noticing it. Jared, that you'll discover this with a spell, but the whole folding page, do you think Ander has any idea what that might represent?
He does. So Anders looking over the map, lazily pulling on his mustache, switching from side to side. His eyes narrow, hiding those crystal blue eyes of his as he's looking over the map, and he's looking back at the book, back at the page of the pictures, and he looks up to the others, and he says, "This is what I was thinking. If we take this page, wait, these locations on the map, what are the coordinates here?"
Well, it's at the 37th parallel and at 124th, which I don't know what that means other than it means that we have to walk 10 days from the last city we were at, and we should be able to find our way using the time that it takes from the sun to start in its beginning until its zenith. It should be 2 degrees off, and that's what this means.
Okay. Here's what I found from you. Take this page, and he points the picture showing exactly where we're at here, and there's another image of the location from where we came. So
are these words I don't read?
Just hear me out here.
Just look at the picture.
This is
Oh.
what I do. So he takes the picture, and he kind of folds them over and then back in, and he writes the coordinates from where we're at that you gave him, where we're at here, and the coordinates that you gave him for the location from which we came. He folds them together, and somehow the two make one image. And if you take the first coordinate of the location where we're at and the second coordinate from the location that we came from, they come together and make its own coordinate there underneath the image of the image that was created by putting the two pieces together.
Oh, you wizards and your magic. That makes no sense. Those numbers would take us to that mound over there. That can't be right. What are you trying to do? I know my mind. You can't trick me.
He looks off in the distance towards the mound that you're referring to, and he says, "Your magnet is pointed to the mound."
So I walk over and get away from where it has been circling, pointing at the mound. I was like, yeah, that's not north. It's a little bit west of us, so it's still pointing towards north. Do you want me to stand on the mound?
Now move it back to where it was spinning.
Okay.
Okay. Now, which direction is that?
So
Is it spinning when you face it towards the mound, or is it spinning like in another direction?
no, every few feet that I head in that same direction west, it spins more, and it seems like it's getting closer and closer together. These weird little spinning spots,
And
almost like a path leading us to that mound. I don't know.
one of the mongrel men is gonna like slap his head at you and go, "This is why tools don't work.
All right,
Don't
that's
you
it.
know rocks in the desert are magnetic?"
You know, you'll be just as entertaining without a goddamn head. I swear, if you talk to me one more time today,
Ender takes his quarterstaff.
I should do it, shouldn't I?
He takes his quarterstaff. It's like, if you look at it, it's really ornately carved. It looks extremely, extremely old. And at the top, it's got this dragon claw carving that's part of the wood. And he kind of points it at you, and then he looks over to the mongrelman and slightly taps him on the head. And he goes, "Please, be quiet when the grown-ups."
Remember 2 weeks ago when we were by those old towers and the magnets didn't work?
Yes.
Rocks in the desert are magnetic and messing you up. But as you look around, you don't see any of these rocks.
And I say that to him. I look at him and I say, "What rocks?"
And he goes, through many years, the sand has grown higher as the wind blows. Maybe they are under the sand. And he kind of points back to that large mound that you were referencing, that you thought the coordinate led to.
Yeah, so I look back around at everybody, look at the map, look at the page with the coordinates, and I say, "The mound. The mound is our next stop."
All right.
So, you get Cal's attention, and even though you can see the mound, with this being the desert and so flat, it takes a couple of, and the movement you had to go, the heat of the desert, it takes almost the rest of the morning into the early afternoon to actually reach that mound. But you realize that as you have gotten closer to it, you see that this mound that looked relatively small on the horizon is actually much larger than you. And it takes, a couple more hours, even almost till nightfall, for the excavation to happen. But finally, after digging a lot of sand, one of the shovels of the mongrel folk hits a purple rock. And Cal begins, losing it. He goes, "This is it!" And he begins uncovering. However, because of the darkness, he wants to work throughout the night, but you decide to set up camp and get a good night's rest before the excavation actually is completed. So I will let you do whatever you'd like at night. You have found what you presume to be the tower, but this will also allow you to have a long rest to recover all of those precious spell slots and abilities that you used.
Nice. Might need that.
Yeah.
So I think as they start setting up camp, Anders gonna pitch his little makeshift tent, sit down and look through his spell book as he does every night, except tonight's going to be a little bit different because he reflects on everything that his parents have taught him before, they went on their final quest, and he thinks about the last thing his father said before he set out that last night. His father said to him, "If you stand for nothing, you'll die for nothing. Dedicate yourself to a cause." He smiled and rubbed his head, and then he left on his mission. And that was the last thing that his father actually said to him. And he starts to tear up as he finally begins to understand what it is that he's been doing his whole life. And not only that, but this is something that his parents wanted. So he's reading over his book, and he's looking at his old notes that his father wrote in there for him. And he just kind of quietly sits there by himself.
Very nice. What about Francis? What's his nightly activities?
Francis will walk about and take notes on the simple folk that live in this area, and he'll have one of the graduate students assist him and discuss the details of the discoveries.
All right. And what about our half-orc?
Once I've set up my bedroll and my where I'm going to sleep, I'm not really going to put a tent over me. I'm going to walk around and hunt. Just go searching for whatever I can find to eat. Roots, berries, small animals that I can trap easily.
Roll wilderness. I mean survival, my bad.
So 1 + 3 is 4.
You find nothing, and you lose more calories than
I'm
whatever
coming.
you find. You find like a really bad tasting cactus that should let you recover a third of the calories you burned.
Nice. Spine in my mouth.
I think Andrew would use prestidigitation when he sees that you come back with nothing, kind of hanging your head low with your axe dragging behind you. I want to use prestidigitation to make it like a little, I don't know, a little piece of vermin or something, like a rabbit of some kind in the desert. Like run up to your feet, look at you, and then take off just to see how you would react.
Meanwhile, you see the mongrel folk walk past you carrying the huge giant lizard which they killed and begin to put it on a steak and begin cooking it.
Oh, goddamn mongrels! I wonder what they
Maybe
do.
you see Francis go by with a couple of graduate students carrying loads of water and food.
Peeling grapes for him.
Yeah, and you see, like Cal just think to himself, why does that guy need so many calories? He just lays around all day.
I beg your pardon, I exercise vigorously.
Oh God.
Alright, so is there anything else you do before you go to sleep hungry?
I brought a couple 10 days worth of dry food. I've been used to when I was out on the sea, so I'll eat that dry, nasty rations and talk to my axe a little bit more.
You can join us in eating if you have charisma above 12.
Yeah, I don't really like people. So I look at you and sneer when you invite me and to just roll over into my cot.
Andrew looks over and says, "You don't want to waste your time with them anyway. Another thing my dad told me. Never trust a man with shiny armor, for he has never seen battle."
That's right. Armor's for pussies.
Yeah. The dried food you have, as you know, like on the sea, if you just add a little bit of water to it, it's dehydrated, but turns into a great meal. However, by rolling a 4, you didn't find any water.
Great.
You're just eating this dry rations, which they fill you up for the night, but
More thirsty than ever tomorrow.
they only taste slightly better than the sand that surrounded you.
It suits me. Serves me right.
So anyway, you all get a good night's sleep, and then or whatever Francis does. And then the next morning, by the time you wake up, you realize that Cal has woken up early and he's already gotten the mongrel men to help him dig. And you see one of the front sides of this tower has been uncovered. And you can't really tell from the little bit that's been uncovered, but it kind of looks like a goblet made out of purple stone with a roof on top, a flat roof, and you're not really sure what it's shaped, but just from the little bit of the top. However, there is a door that has been uncovered, and all of you kind of make your way at the same time to see what Cal has been looking at, and you see him once again reading his book, and he goes, I've tried everything. I've said the magic words. I've looked for any hidden buttons. I can't open it.
Ander walks up and puts his hand on Cal's shoulder, slightly nods, and he says, "Give me just a few minutes.
Yep.
Perhaps I can help understand or figure out what it is that keeps that door closed."
Yeah, and if all of you could give me a history roll.
Oh, I'm good at that.
History.
I think
Minus
I am
1.
too. Oh yeah, I'm very good at history. Well, that's a 3, but that's going to give me a 12.
I rolled a
I
10
have,
of 10.
I have 16, I think. Yeah.
16. All right. Well, then all of you are trying to rack your brains trying to remember the story of Archimedes, but really only Francis does. And you remember this little part about his tower, of how well he hid it? He hid it in the puzzle that Ander found out, so that it would take a very wise man to be able to find where it's located.
Mm-hmm.
However, the entrance to the door has such a simple way to get in that anybody who was intelligent enough to find the tower would not be simple enough to find out how to get in.
Haha! Sounds
And
like
so-
a
do you want to share this with the other two?
Yes, of course. I tell the story casually. The tower is protected against smarty pants as well, not just the stupid ones. So, Cal, you can pride yourself that you were way too smart for this one.
And all of the grad school girls and a couple of the guys just swooning over you as you're telling the story, and Cal just looks, trying to find out how to think more stupid. But go ahead, Ander. You're gonna try to find out how to get in.
Can I?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I have a danger sense. Gives me an uncanny sense when things aren't right or if there's a problem, so I can dodge. Can I just real quick walk up and stand by the door and use my danger sense to see traps and spells?
I'll let you roll investigation at advantage, which probably won't help you that much. But...
Would me hitting him in the head help? Like, that's a real danger.
Well, he already has advantage. So.
Oh, nat 20.
Sick.
Plus, what's my investigation's not going to be grand. Investigation's -1.
Oh, no.
Well, but you crit it, right?
Right.
Yeah, you feel like that there is some type of magical spell. However, this magical spell only prevent magic from being used to open the door. And that way, a wizard could just come in and try to cast like a shatter or throw a firebolt at it.
What if
However, yeah.
What if I hit it with the back of my axe? Just bam, the door.
Oh, you could try that. I'm gonna let Ander try to find a way in first, since I cut him off.
Okay, no traps at least. We're not gonna die.
Well, the whole time that all this is going on, with Francis explaining everything, I think Ander would have started his detect magic ritual by sitting down, using his quarterstaff that had been passed down to him by his father and his father's father, and so forth. For 6 generations, this thing just carries the lineage of the magic within his blood, and he channels the use of his magic through it. So he's using this to help see what, if any, magic is on the door.
All right.
Francis will just pull or push at the door, see if there's a handle somewhere, and just pull it.
All right. 1 second. As far as the detect magic goes, you kind of come to the same conclusion that the barbarian did, that there's some type of spell that protects you against spells.
So there's a spell that protects it against spells.
Yep.
Okay. Through detect magic, it says that I learned the school of magic, if there is one. So is there a specific school that belongs to?
Oh, I hate you having to memorize this. I'd have to look up what exactly it would be.
I think
incantation.
Incantation.
Enchantment, maybe.
Cool. Abjure evocation, maybe. Oh, wait, 1 second.
It might be enchantment.
Yeah, I think it'll be enchantment.
Okay. So upon that, he looks at the barbarian and kind of nods, understanding that he knows that the barbarian saw some type of spell. And I just kind of confirm it with a nod. And as my next ritual, I would like to use Identify as a ritual. So Identify only takes 1 minute instead of 10. So I go up and I put my hand on the door, lower my head, kind of touch the dragon's claw on the tip of my staff to my forehead, and it basically tells me what spells are affecting the item and what they are, what level, and the properties of the spell itself.
Yeah, so anyway, you and even some of the grad school students and the mongrel men are kind of together. Like, they see you investigating all this magic and spending all these minutes along with Kel. During this minute, what does Hagugal do?
I grab one of the mongrel men by the scruff of the neck, and I just sort of throw him at the door.
All right. Roll something for that. I don't know what you're rolling.
Roll a d20.
19 plus I got an 8 strength, so 27.
Yeah, so you throw this mongrel man at the door, and as soon as he hits the door opens. And Cal looks at you and he goes, That's so stupid, I would have never thought about that. The mongrel man and the magic that has corrupted them during the spell plague have a magic that has already weakened the structure of the tower, causing the door to open. How did you think of that?
And they flunked me out of kindergarten. Ha!
Yeah. So anyway, that causes the door to open, and all of you can begin walking in.
Okay.
So with my, well, I guess I wouldn't have identified any traps, but did the barbarian? I'm sorry. What was your character's name?
Hagrugal.
Hagrugal. Okay. Did he identify or notice any magical traps or physical traps, if any?
You know, he doesn't really get to identify. He's not a rogue or a magic caster. He feels if something's wrong before it happens and gets an advantage to his saving throws. So it's just more or less going to be like something's not right, and then he'll get like an extra chance to survive through it. But he's not going to be like, hey, look, there's a trap here. He's just going to step down and then be like, jump out of the way right as it goes off.
He did create his investigation, and so I just gave him, like, there's no traps.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that Archimedes expected either of you to get that far. And so you walk in, it is pretty dark, so if you don't have dark vision, you might need to light a torch.
I have dark vision.
But as you walk in, you see, kind of like you discovered earlier, it's almost like a cylinder you're walking into. However, as it goes toward the bottom, it begins to narrow out, and it seems to be filled with sand all the way up to this walkway that goes circular around. This is a very huge building. You think that the radius is about 250 feet. So it's a very huge construct. And it takes a little bit of noticing, but you realize that as soon as you open that door, the sand level is beginning to almost fall out of the bottom at a very, slow pace. But you realize that the sand level is very slowly going down. However, you feel like it could be, hours, if not days, for this whole room to be empty of sand. As you look across, you see another open door directly on the other side of the building from where you are.
Across a chasm?
Not really a chasm. If the sand wasn't there, it would be a chasm, but there is a walkway that goes around the circumference.
Okay.
You would rather go that way. You feel like it will take you, about a couple minutes. Maybe 5 minutes shorter if you walk straight across than if you go all the way around. But
I'll walk straight across.
All right. What about the other two? Are you going to walk straight across or just go around the walkway?
I am going to kind of slowly make my way in, taking note of the shape, size, and any kind of markings on the walls. If there's, like murals, any kind of, secret. I mean, I probably wouldn't know that it was secret language right off the bat, but any type of writing, script, I'm trying to locate any of that if I can, if there is any.
There's not really anything. Archimedes wasn't planning on having guests, so it's just basically functional, just flat rock. But since it's magically made, on the inside it looks like the rock was perfectly laid, no chips or no anything. The sand, however, you are in the plane of purple dust, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, which the sand is dyed purple. Most people believe through like all the arcane magic of the spell plague. So there is just this layer of purple sand that is the level is slowly dropping, but there's nothing spectacular for you to look at.
So Ander kind of speaks up as he walks in. Now the sand is falling out from the inside, like down the center?
Yeah, it would appear that way.
Okay. So Ander speaks up and he says, "There's only one other place that I've seen sand react in such a manner. That's an hourglass. Now it would seem either there's a big hollow hole underneath where we're at, but we've been digging, so it would appear that perhaps there's just sand underneath. So what would cause it to go down? Now, this has been here for a long time. Either the sand has been falling down for a long time, or maybe the door opening has had something to do with the movement of the sand. We might be under a time limit here. Kind of thinking out loud, but also speaking to anybody that might be listening.
That is a sensible yet lengthy explanation. The man seems to have been a functionalist of sorts, so I don't think he's doing this for effect.
Yeah. And that is a rather good conclusion that seems rational, but like I said, this is such a large room, and the sand's lowering at such a level that you feel like it would take days, if at least a few hours for it to empty.
Either way, seems like we need to be on top of our wits and work quickly. Who knows what can happen when the sand is gone.
So, did you want to walk around the circumference or just straight across the sand?
Ender's going to walk around.
What about you, Francis?
Francis is going to stand here and watch a bit, see what happens.
All right.
Within a quick couple of paces of the door.
Yeah. Well, Hagigal, who's already walking across and getting much farther ahead from anyone else walking around, you'll make it about a third of the way across, and then you seem to step on something that almost something pointy that hurts your foot.
Okay, I jump back.
Yeah, and you just see that it looks like a small piece of bone is sticking out.
I'm going to use my axe to just scoop the sand away from around this bone.
You see that this bone is much larger than just little bone.
Like an animal underneath there?
You can run roll nature.
One, 2, 3, 21.
21. Yeah, you can't exactly be sure what it is, but it definitely appears to be probably one of the fingers, like claws, of a very huge creature.
Can they see it from where they are?
Probably not, but however, you've definitely gained their attention by stopping and digging.
I'm gonna dig down a little deeper using my hand and my axe in the other hand. I'll use those two to push away stuff to just gain a clearer perspective for a second.
Yeah, and so you dig that, and it reveals more of this, like finger-like bone, and then you keep digging and you find almost a second claw-like bone. So you realize this is definitely a claw of some sort.
Something didn't make it across, so I kind of walk around the digging hole I was going, and then keep going towards the other door.
Yeah, but by this time, you're going to get Cal's attention and grad students, and they're going to immediately jump in the sand and begin to excavate and dig this creature out. And with them digging a little bit quicker, you see a claw with kind of like these fossilized blackish blue bones, and one of the grad students who's a little bit better off in animals is going to kind of conform with you and go, I think it's a dragon.
And I think at that point, Andrew would already have noticed, him digging, but when he hears the word dragon, he grips his quarterstaff even tighter, almost like a white knuckle, and he kind of looks down at the tip of his, and he makes his way over slowly to see if they might resemble each other.
Yeah, and you get close, and pretty much through this digging, you see whatever type of creature this was. It appears that maybe a dragon might have been one of the beasts used to protect. However, with all of this sand, through the way that the claw is positioned, it almost looks like the dragon is trying to claw its way out of the sand to grab some breath, and it drowned in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dead. Don't worry. But this is just like revealing to you the danger.
So the sand came in from the top and trapped this in here, and now the sand is draining away. This is when we used to make traps where you could, you let the animal in, then they would do a fall, and then you keep them in there. You either keep them alive or you could kill them before you get them out. This would remind him of a trap used hunting. Okay.
Yeah. And so with this, Kyle's going to say, well, this dragon would look great in a museum. But I agree with you. This might be pretty time sensitive. And if this is in fact an hourglass, then the sand is emptying into a bottom room. And we best find out what valuables are in that room before it's all covered in sand like this dragon.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna kind of like order you three to go on, while him and the Grass-Doers and the Mongrel men are trying to uncover this and maybe find a way to begin moving portions of the bone out.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do now is find a way into the space where the sand is going. It has to go somewhere. And if Cal's right, we don't have much time to find it.
And if there's a door there is a door on the other side. If you make your way over there, you think that might lead down.
Okay. Looks like we only have one choice. Let's start there.
This is my favorite kind of problem. It's only one answer. So I keep heading towards the door.
Yep. And Francis, you finally followed him?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but very swaggly he walks around.
A gentleman will walk.
And you see that they're continuing to dig, and maybe one horn of the dragon is now being revealed, but it definitely looks like this dragon was just trying to like crawl its way up through the sand to get one last breath before it all fell down, and just through the sand repositioning itself, it died right there and fossilized. But you keep going and you make it through the other door. It takes a couple minutes, and everybody else is just content on digging. They figure it's safer here than what might be. And you find a staircase that appears to begin leading down toward the bottom half of this tower.
Okay. I'll go down.
All right. Yeah, and so it takes, a couple, you think even like 30 or so minutes to just traverse this winding stairway. And then as you reach the bottom, it's almost like they ran out of effort creating all these stairs, that it just kind of turns into a ramp that leads down into what appears to be a door.
Okay. I'll walk over and try to open the door.
All right. So right now if you have dark vision, you can see the other two of you. I'm guessing you have some type of lantern or torch lit. 'Cause
I'll have.
the other two, yeah.
I should carry my own light source. That doesn't seem proper.
Okay. So I'm guessing that Ander has some type of torch or lantern.
Someone light the way.
Allowing.
I took a scholar's pack, so I don't think I have any torches. Let's see. I don't think a scholar's pack has any torches in it.
I have a torch, but you can carry it.
Oh,
I have no idea that you guys can't see in the dark.
yeah. Yeah, well, I was just kind of following you, like staying within eyesight. Yeah, I guess I'll look back and I'll actually what I'll do is I'll look back to Francis, and without making eye contact, I just reach my hand behind me and snap, expecting him to give me his torch.
Accidentally, you rub against my thigh, and I say, "Oh, I didn't know you cared."
I say, stop playing and just give me the light.
Here you go, my shaft.
Jeez.
And he takes it.
He grabs the shaft.
Well, yeah, I grab it without giving it a second thought. Not humoring anything. Just take the torch and press forward.
Yeah, as you grab it, some of the oil kind of scorching you a little bit. But yeah, and so as you get
Don't
closer,
encourage me.
you see that this door, almost like the tomb of Jesus, is blocked by a large stone that's been rolled in front of it. And then there seems to be another rock, almost like a bar, which is holding this lock in place with a key that almost looks like an arcane key that needs to be in to open up this bar so you can move the stone.
So the key's actually in the lock itself
Yeah,
already?
you see the keyhole.
Okay, so I see the keyhole, no key, but there's a big boulder blocking the way?
Right, yeah. When there's a bar, kind of like a roller coaster where, like, the security bar, there seems to be kind of like a stone bar like that that's holding the stone in place, but once you remove the bar, you might be able to roll the stone out of the way.
I'm going to get down low, bend my knees, and get underneath it and try to see if I can move that out of the way.
Alright, roll strength. Or athletics, I guess.
Oops. Did it roll twice? Well, it looks like it rolled a 3 the second time, so 3 plus 8's 11.
11. No, that's not quite strong enough. You realize that the stone's heavy, but there's also some type of magical property around it that's making it difficult for the bar to move. So you might need to find some type of combination between both magic and strength.
And Ander pats your back as you're leaning down into this bar, and he says, "My boy, let me try something." And I'm going to. He kind of kneels down, puts his hand over the keyhole, and you see the quarterstaff in his hand start to emanate like just a really faint blue glow. Not enough to give off any light, but if you notice it, the wood kind of has a shimmery blue appearance to it for a second. And Ander closes his eyes real tight, and he's trying to picture the key in his mind. And what I'm actually doing is using Locate Object as a second level spell here to see if I can determine the location of this key, if it's anywhere close to me.
Is there a distance that works?
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. You tried to use it, and you feel like this key was something that Archimedes kept on his person, and so good luck finding it. You're going to have to find some other way to break this magic lock.
Okay. So he kind of shakes his head, pulls his hand away. He says, "There's no way we're going to find anything that fits this. We have to get through it." Um, and let's see. I'd like to use Identify as a first level spell rather than a ritual since we're under time constraint here. So I'll just go ahead and expend one of those spell slots. For Identify to see the type of spell used and if there's any way I can manipulate it. Essentially doing the
Yeah,
same thing I did.
I'm really bad with magical schools, but I don't think it would be enchantment. It would. Let's see if I can find something.
It says you learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are.
Yeah, it seems like maybe there could be an abjuration spell. Let me see. Yeah, it would be abjuration. It's a relatively simple magical lock, which if you had some type of powerful magical spell, you think that it might be able to break.
Okay. Well, I didn't actually take this spell, unfortunately. um,
What about Dispel Magic? Would that help?
Perhaps.
Why not?
It's worth a shot.
Um,
Yeah. Ender looks back at you and explains that there is a magical property to it, and that the key is not going to be found, and that we have to do something to get through it beyond just sheer physical force.
Francis will kneel down and look at the lock and try to figure out if there's any sense to it or anything beyond it.
Yeah. One second, I have a phone call. Sorry, do.
1 second phone calls, I like those.
I'm going to tap on the lock with the handle of my axe. Meaningfully.
With purpose.
That's right.
This little guy.
Arrgh. I'm going to grab a water real quick. Anybody want one? Just kidding.
Sure. I think I might go grab one too.
Now that I'm back, everybody else left.
Yes.
It's alright. I need to get a refill of water. And then we'll jump back into it.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Is Josh there? Is he not back?
He's back, I think.
Anybody else read any of the Dragonlance novels?
I have not. No.
Oh, well, that was
All right.
reference I made to Raceland earlier about when Josh was describing Arkham Midas. It sounded a lot like Raceland from the Dragonlance novels. If anybody knows.
Terrible.
I haven't read them.
The sickly creature.
Sorry about that. People
Oh,
call
wait.
me even on my day off. All right. So, Francis, you were asking about. You knelt down and you looked at it. Goran?
Yes.
Yeah. Were you casting a spell or were you just looking at it?
I'm looking at it intently and focusing on things that I know best, smells and sounds.
Yeah.
And things that look like divine good or evil.
I mean,
Look or smell like.
this would have been created semi-selfishly, just to keep other people out. I wouldn't. As far as good and evil, it's basically like a security system, and so I'm not sure. The thing about what type of spell did I say this was? Abjuration. The thing about abjuration spells is it depends on who casts them, but typically abjuration is used to banish evil or keep people out. So you feel like he cast this so that evil people would not be able to go in and get the staff. However, if one of you guys proved you were good enough, the lock might not work, or the lock might let you in.
What?
If this
If we proved ourselves
Yeah.
good enough.
if this abjuration was in fact used to keep like evil people out from getting a legendary item, then if you proved yourself as good, you might be able to get past.
I'm fantastic. I don't know what
How-
you're talking about.
However, when the barbarian touched it, it didn't work.
No.
I utter a small prayer and I touch the handle and try to push.
Yeah, and you see that the keyhole that was once there fills in with stone, and now it's just a normal bar which can easily be lifted. So, you made it past.
So I do.
Alright, so you just lift it out of the way. And this will even take a strength roll. Like, you just kind of pick it up if you want to.
Okay.
Whoa.
Alright.
You're a hell of a lot stronger than you look.
Yeah, so about the time you pick it up, now you can move this stone. However, this lever was not only to hold the rock in place, but also seemed to be somewhat of a pressure plate to
Great.
release something. And with dark vision, the half orc, you can look down the hall, and you see a very large boulder, which is about the size of the hall, which looks kind of like a mace with like the spikes on it. And if this hits you, it will do a good bit of damage, and it's rolling down the ramp. You don't have much time. You could either you don't think you will have time to move this stone out of the way, so you could take a dexterity saving throw and try to not take full damage from the stone, or if one of you have something like a battering ram that could break the stone, you might be able to crawl inside the door and not get hit. I need a quick.
Second option.
All right, I need a quick action. So, Goran, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to focus on the door and push it with both of my hands.
All right, just your own
Using my
strength.
ring.
And what does your ring do?
It is a ram.
your ram. All right. You have the Ring of the Ram. It can either give you a strength boost, or it can summon the ram to attack the door. Which one would you like to do?
Strength boost.
A strength. Okay, I still need you to roll.
I will do so.
You know, would one of the other two of you like to help, or would you rather jump out of the way?
I have danger sense, so I get advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Yep. Well, basically, the way we'll do it, you have one action. You could help him and give him advantage, but if for some reason he's not strong enough to move the door, he will take full damage. Or you could both jump out of the way and maybe only take half damage. It's risk or reward.
Can I see beyond? Is there like enough space within the hallway to see past the boulder as it's coming down?
It's coming down from where it already walked past, but there really isn't any room. I mean, a little bit of room as the boulder's rolling, but
All I'm asking is, can I see behind the boulder as it's coming to me? Like, if I press against the wall, can I see beyond it?
You can kind of, as it's like wobbling and hitting walls, you can see a little bit behind it.
Okay. Then I would like to use Misty Step.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I rolled. See, it's going to be a 4 and a 14. So the 14 gives me a 17 for dexterity.
All right. So, basically, both of your friends have deserted. Well, I use friends lightly. Have deserted you to move this stone by yourself. Ander, all of a sudden you disappear and show up on the other side of where the stone is. What does that look like? Cool.
You just kind of see Ander crouch down, and he pulls his cloak around him really tightly, and he just kind of disappears into this tiny little cloud, and nobody else sees him because they can't see beyond the boulder. But the cloud, it kind of like expands just a little bit, maybe the size of, I don't know, a basketball, and then it implodes on itself and disappears. So it like goes, and then they don't see anything else after that.
Yeah, so you're safe. With the half-orc, you kind of begin judging where the stone's going to be, and you see that if you dive, you might be able to avoid a lot of the damage, but it's still going to hit you. However,
I tried to use my I tried to use my voice as I move in this endeavor and convince whoever's left to get to me. Let's push this door out of the way. I'd like to use my persuasion to do that.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
That's 16.
16. All right. So basically, I'll let you look at the barbarian one more time, and Hagigel.
Yep.
Your choice. You can continue to dodge, or you could help him try to push it out of the way.
I have really low intelligence and wisdom, so if he's rolled a 16, I'm guessing I'm just going to do what he says.
All right.
Since I succeeded, this I think would be appropriate for.
So I would join him.
All right. So roll with advantage, Francis. A athletic.
Okay. And that's this strength helps me with this thing, right?
Yeah. Just roll athletics. That adds in your strength.
Yeah, that's gonna be 8 plus. If I'm adding athletics, that will be athletics and strength. I'm at 30 something.
Yeah.
Plus the advantage, whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, you rolled 2 dice for advantage. But yeah, basically you're more than strong enough, especially with your ring. Both of you are able to push this stone, and very quickly, like, dodge into the other room, and pretty much I see it as after both of you push out of the way just enough to jump in, and then this really large boulder hits the stone as it's rolling back in place. Both rocks shatter, and then you kind of peek back through the door, and you see Ander standing there on the other side, who just like deserted you.
I just kind of, you wanted a quick reaction, and that's the quickest. I'm an old wizard. I've got no strength.
That makes sense.
That's cool. I don't blame you.
I say, well done, as I brush off the bit of dust that has fallen on me as this thing rolled by, and invoke my inspiring leader perk.
All right. So, is the well done your inspiring leader?
It's both my invocation of people to help me, and as they obeyed and we went through this, the whole thing.
Yeah. So, inspiring leader is your feat. And how much help did they get? Do you remember?
Yeah, it gives.
They'll get more than they did last time with your higher level. But,
Last time I did 9.
Yeah. Okay. What? You are level 9, and then what's your charisma?
18.
9 plus 4, 13.
13.
So each of you have 13 additional health. Or temporary HP.
Nice.
Yeah. And so with that,
I need that.
yeah, with that, Andrew, you kind of make your way walking over the rocks into this room, and it's dark, but you missed a step with your torch, I'm guessing. So as you get closer, they can see, and you do hear the sound of sand beginning to, like this is definitely right underneath where you were earlier, and sand's falling down, and you look around, and it reminds you of what would be a Roman pyramid, how pyramids were kind of designed for afterlife with servants and everything, except instead of planning for the afterlife, this was a really nice area where Archimedes planned to die and then be resurrected. So you see, in typical pyramid fashion, a couple sarcophagi. You see that it smells very nice, and you're guessing that's due to the herbs that are around. You see a great chariot, which appears to be pulled by like a fossilized woolly mammoth. And as the sand is falling, you see that the sand is beginning to cover up a rod that's made of oak and has a little bit of a gold lining to it.
I'll take the rock, you grab the woolly mammoth.
Alright.
Yeah, I said rod, not rock. I guess staff.
Oh, okay.
My stomach growls because the good smell makes me feel hungry.
Alright. So, what are you doing, Ander?
I'm kind of lifting my torch up in the air, walking towards the center of the room, which is where I'm assuming the sand is coming down.
Yep.
And you said that the sand is covering up this rod.
Yeah.
So
you can tell.
We can't see the whole object, right? We just see a rod.
Yeah.
Coming
You can tell that this is definitely the bottom part of an hourglass. So your speculation is right. And the sand has began to mound up in the middle to be about 5 or 6 feet tall. But you see the very top of the staff, and you can roll Arcane or History. But if you get anything decent, it would lead you to believe that this is in fact the Staff of Life.
Okay. You know what? I'll roll Arcane just because. Yeah, that's gonna be a good roll. So it's gonna be a 25.
Yeah, you are led to believe that this is in fact the Staff of Life.
Okay, so this is how I think Andrew would react here.
All right.
Kind of surprised that this might be a part of what it is that his parents were after, if not, the holy grail of their quest, perhaps a piece of it. But he starts to tremble, and the other guys could tell by the way the torch sheds its light around the room. They can tell that it's shaky, even though it's fire. But he slowly makes his way up to it, and next to Francis, who's also at the staff, Ander kind of reaches his free hand out, almost nervous to touch the staff, but his finger kind of caresses just the edge of it where the gold lining is, and he doesn't notice it, but his mouth is completely open and his eyes are wide, and anybody looking at him could see his crystal blue eyes are just almost shining under the firelight, as he's just extremely surprised and excited, and also a little scared of what could be protecting such a legendary relic that's obviously gone through a lot of protection.
And Francis was also making his way toward the staff.
Francis comes to the staff, looks at it casually, looks around at pouring sand, and then gazes at Ander as he's standing there all of a sudden and staring intently on the staff.
Yeah,
and he comes closer to Ander and says, "Watch out!" I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and so both of you, as you're getting close to the staff, the sand that's kind of falling out and rolling down the mound is beginning to get over your shoes. But either you're free to grab it if you want.
I think Ander would be a little bit smarter than that, than to just grab it outright. Although he wants to really bad, but he looks to Francis and says, "Not quite yet." And with his free hand, I think Ander would try to scoop.
Not quite yet. The sand.
As it's coming down, Ander just starts to uncover what he can of the rest of the staff. Uncovering more sand than is actually falling to try and reveal the entire staff.
Yeah, you can't
to see if it's just laying in the sand or if it's on some type of altar that's holding.
Yeah, I imagine it kind of like standing up. And you can begin trying to uncover it, but the sand's falling in so quickly that you're struggling. Like,
I touch it.
You touch it? Alright. You definitely feel some type of energy and power in it. However, as
does it have an alignment?
As Ander, it would. Let me check and make sure. Magic items can't really have a alignment, I don't think, but this would definitely be. Since it is healing, it would be something good. Probably like a chaotic good type thing.
I guess I'll pick it up.
Alright, yeah, and you see that as Ander's digging, it is in a, kind of on a stand, almost like a sheath. But once you pick it up, you feel like that's when you'll get the power from it. Meanwhile, while you two are thinking about that, and Ander can think about if he's gonna let you just pick it up right in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would happen so fast that I wouldn't be able to react to him grabbing it.
Alright, well, Hagugal is going to be walking over, examining the chariot and mammoth.
Yes.
Yeah, and you see that if you roll a history check just for the heck of it. I know you're not good at it.
Actually, you know what? I think I might be able to help him out with this. This is one thing that I wanted to mention to you earlier that I forgot that I had, but I did it, but I forgot to mention. I have Portent as a divination wizard, which gives me 2 d20s after a long rest. that I can use in place of like a check or an attack roll. So the two d20 rolls that I had are 14 and 13, and I have to declare the use before the roll. So if you want to take one of those rather than just roll, you have a 14 and a 13 there available.
All right. Sure, I'll take a 14.
Okay.
All right, and so basically, you don't really read, but you just kind of have heard stories or maybe seen pictures of, ancient armies, and in this area, their chariots are being pulled by normal horses. They would just have like one very large armored beast, typically almost like an elephant or a mammoth. And yeah, that's just a fossil. Like, you feel that this was dead for long before it ever came in here. But the chariot itself is made out of gold, so you think it's just for show. It was never actually used in battle. It's just a very, ornate.
Yeah, for looks.
Yeah. But besides that, it's just you feel like there's probably some ivory in the tusk that would be worth some good money. But yeah, it's just, besides the treasure, if you can get out of here, it'd just be worth some money. But anyway, so I just didn't want to leave him out since we talked about it. So you grab it out of the you grab the staff, Francis.
Yes.
Make a religion or arcane check.
I'm gonna go with religion.
Yeah, and so as you pull it out,
Where the hell are you guys? There. That's 19 plus 4. That's 23.
yeah, as you pick it up, you feel a lot of energy come off of it, and it's like radiant energy, except you can tell that this is magical and not exactly divine. But as you pick it up, this radiant energy fills your body, and if it was not for your god being within you as a warrior, this radiant energy would probably almost like Indiana Jones in the Lost Crusade when the or in the Lost Ark when the Holy of Holies is open, or when the Ark of the Covenant is open, and like everyone just turns to
face melt.
Yeah, you feel like this could almost happen to you, because as soon as he picked this up, everyone's kind of blinded by a light, and you actually don't exactly hold the power to keep this staff from releasing all of its magic. So in a bright, radiant light, everything that has been dead in the room comes to life. And because of this, you have a barbarian petting what is now a, for lack of a better word, undead mammoth that is right in front of him. Also, the two sarcophagi, you hear banging on them, and then all of a sudden they're opened, and two mummies begin walking out. And now might be a good time to roll initiative.
Nice. That was awesome. Wow, sick. Alright, Andrew got an 18 for his initiative.
But since I raised them, they're under my control, right?
Nope.
Oh.
The rod raised them, you did not raise them.
Yeah.
So let's see, I rolled a 14 plus 2, so 16 for my initiative.
Alright. 1 second. Let me switch to chat. What did you roll, Jared?
18.
18. And what did you roll, Goran?
I rolled the things according to my state. So I'm wielding the rod still and trying to focus on things that are happening around me.
Yeah. So, you rolled at 3?
I rolled a 3, and I have
Alright.
-1, so that's 2.
Alright, so,
And at the same time, I look better than I ever did.
Yeah, of course. Just like the way that there's radiating light shining off your face, you look like a god. But I'm gonna go.
I am a god. Puny god.
Instead of prayers, I just say apologies now for looking better than my deity.
Go. Mummy. Mammoth. Finally, branches. Alright, that will be the order. The way I see it is probably about 40 feet away from you. Hagugel is petting the now live mammoth skeleton.
Cool.
The mummies are about, what do you say, 20 feet away from you, kind of in a V shape, both diagonal, like in a triangle, about, we'll say 40 feet away from you, like 40 feet away from each other, but 20 feet away from you. I'm not about to do the Pythagorean theorem, so I'm not gonna get. But yeah.
So who are you talking to right now?
Well, in the center of the room, I'd say that's where you and the staff and Francis are.
Yeah.
The mummy, like right behind you, is the door that you came through,
Okay.
and then 20 feet diagonal, but 40 feet apart, are the mummies,
Okay.
and then to your right, about 40 feet, are the mammoth and Hagugel.
Okay. So who's going first in initiative? Is that me?
Yep.
Yep. I failed to do this before, but I go ahead and get all your ACs.
Oh,
Do they have anything to do with level?
No. I think you already have pretty swag armor too. So.
my AC's 15.
All right.
Anders' AC is actually really big for a wizard. It's a big old 10.
Yeah. Too bad you didn't cast
Mage armor?
mage armor yet.
Oh no, my turn hasn't even gone through yet.
Yeah.
so-
I know. And what about you?
I'm at 20.
Golly, you were complaining about 20.
Well, it's a nice armor. I don't want it damaged.
You can take it off. That might help. All right. So anyway, Jared, the ACs you're looking for the mummy, they're 11. The mammoth, I want you to take 14. But just so you guys know.
Okay. So Ander, you would see him kind of with the torch in one hand because there's no light in here, right?
Now that the staff is giving off light, I'll say that you can see.
Okay. Awesome. So given that, I think Ander would drop the torch onto the sand, like probably a couple feet away from him, and you would see him grab his quarterstaff, and those icy blue eyes of his, he kind of grabs the quarterstaff, holds it in front of him with both hands, and those icy blue eyes radiate like almost a white blue, and it's a one solid color. It's not, they don't look like regular eyes anymore. It's like the magic emanating out of them, and his entire body takes on this icy blue aura around it, and the room immediately gets colder as he casts this mage armor, kind of reskinning that as like an ice kind of thing.
It's cool.
So yeah, he's casting mage armor on himself, and he's holding that quarterstaff, and his eyes are a solid, like white blue light in his eye sockets.
Oh shit, my proficiency is +4 now. Didn't notice that.
All right.
I'm kind of positioning myself. I take a couple steps back so I could see both zombies and the mammoth at my right.
+3.
All right. Yeah. How far do you step back?
Probably about 10 feet, so I would
Alright.
be 30 feet from both zombies, and then you said I was 40 feet away from the chariot?
Yeah. So,
So 50 feet away from that.
all right, that'll work. With that, we go to the barbarian. How well is your perception?
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, that makes my armor class 13 now, with the mage armor.
All right. How good is your perception? Hagigel?
13 passive wisdom perception.
Yeah, so I'll say that you have an idea that this thing has come alive.
Okay.
How are you going to react?
As I'm petting it and I feel it start to become alive, I know that this is not normal. So I immediately start into my rage. And I'm going to go ahead and it's dead. I know it's dead. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately walk to the head of this no, I'm not. I'm gonna jump on top of this undead whatchamahootit, and I'm gonna go ahead and attack it. I'm gonna go ahead and attack it recklessly twice with my great axe.
When you say jump on top of it, what do you mean?
I mean, I'm gonna climb up on top of its back to try to get a good reach at its neck. I'm gonna try to jump up there. That's my movement, is to try to jump on it.
Okay, roll athletics. Just see if you can climb on it.
Alrighty. 9 plus 8 is a 17.
Yeah, so with the bones especially, you have no problem finding like handholds and footholds. So you
Got it.
easily climb up on its back, and
Alright. Alright, and sitting on its back, I'm gonna do my first reckless attack, which is 16 plus a 9. So 16 plus 10 is a 26 to hit.
yep, definitely hit.
And that's a d12 plus 6 plus 3 for the rage. You have to finish. Okay, so 8 plus 6 plus 3, 14. So I hit it for 17 damage.
Holy, that's good.
And then I'm going to go ahead and attack him again.
All right.
8 and 5. 8 plus 8 is 16. Actually, 8 plus 10 is 18. So 18 to hit.
That will hit.
And then d12 for 6. So 6 plus 6 plus 3 is 15. So I hit him again for 15 points. Since it's a reckless attack that I used, I have advantage until my next roll.
I think reckless attack gives attackers advantage on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it has advantage against you.
That's what I was trying to see. Is I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, any
So
attack against you has advantage until your next turn.
Exactly.
All right. And so how much damage did your second one do? Sorry.
The second one was what was it? It was 6 plus 6 plus 3, 15 points.
All right, so you did 15. That's,
15 and 17,
yeah, sounds good.
something like that. So it was like 32 points.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and you definitely do some good damage. You have a great axe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You almost wish that you had something that did a little bit more bludgeoning damage, because you realize, with this just being bone, your weapon is more just kind of like chipping bone, and if you had a hammer of some sort, it'll be a whole lot easier to break. But you're not getting any type of satisfying slash. You're still doing the same amount of damage, but you feel like you could be more effective.
Then I'm gonna talk to it. I'm gonna say, you tell me all this crap about myself, and here you are failing me.
Yep.
Bite into these bones, you bastard! Bite into them.
That is going to be the mummy's turn. And yeah, typical mummies, but you see that the robes or the cloth that's wrapped around has kind of began peeling off, and you can see the skeleton underneath, and you can see their eyes kind of glaring at you, but they're not really like normal eyes. You see like the maggots in them, and just the way they're looking, they're kind of glaring. And I need both Ander and Francis to make wisdom saving throws.
With my aura of protection, that should be easier.
Yeah, and he's still in your aura of protection.
He
So,
is indeed.
yeah, you get to add 1 to whatever your roll is.
I get to
Is
add
it?
1.
Yeah.
I think he adds my charisma, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he adds your charisma. Holy crap! So that's 4, right? Yeah. Go add.
Saving throws, it's +7. Enjoy.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. Okay, I rolled a 4, so that plus 7 gives me 11, and then I have a 5 for my my wisdom saving throw, so that's a 15. No,
All right.
16. 16.
What about you? What did you roll, Goran?
I'm trying to locate my dice.
Okay.
You know, there's a way you can clear all the dice off the screen too.
Yeah.
I am at 12.
12. After all the bonuses,
I'm not sure what bonuses do I get. I get the
You get-
charisma.
you get whatever is written on your sheet for wisdom, plus 4 for your charisma. So what did you roll? I find that if you're high enough level paladin, the spell won't affect you. Period. Well, it doesn't matter. Both you guys passed it. Neither of these mummies scare you. You've been in too many fights to be scared. However, both of these mummies will continue walking toward the paladin since he's the only one within reach, and they will begin hitting at you with their fists, and you can tell that these fists are, mainly skeleton. As you hit them, some sludge kind of seeps out of rotting flesh.
Delicious.
However, they're smearing this rotting flesh all over your nice shiny armor,
Pisses him off.
but neither of them hit you hard enough.
That invokes my wrath.
Is that a spell or is that just you?
It's just wrath.
All right, yeah, you're definitely angry.
I
About
look good
this,
enough for them
Yeah.
to be afraid.
yeah. Well, this is just gonna like distract you enough to make you angry. And what's the mammoth, which now has the barbarian riding in the back of it. This mammoth would like to attack you, but it doesn't really know how to reach you. So instead, it lowers its head and it charges at the paladin.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Ooh, okay, and yeah, that's gonna hit, and this hit isn't gonna be pretty. All right, so this thing is just trampling charges. About the time your wrath settles, you hear this, pounding on the ground and kind of clinking of bones, and as you look over your shoulder, you see this huge mammoth with its head down and horns just getting ready to gore you. You need to make a strength saving throw,
I can do that.
hopefully.
That's 63. No, just
Wait,
second.
you make it a d20.
Deal.
That is 30-ish.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So it's not going to knock you down, but, yeah, the good news is, Well, there's really no good news. It's Gorhue. Yeah, I was trying to put a positive spin, but no, it's basically Gorhue with his horns for 21 damage.
Oh.
Yep. Now, if you would have fallen on the ground, then it would have done like 40 to you. But
Yeah.
your strength was good enough. But yeah. Also, as it hits him, I'm gonna need for the barbarian to make an athletic throw, just hold on to his back.
Oh, damn. 13?
I'll roll against that. 15. You get knocked off,
Ooh.
and you are now prone.
Okay.
Right next to both the mummies, and you take 4 points of damage.
Well, thank God.
Since I'm raging, it's only 2 points.
Yep, that is true.
Nice.
All right, and now it goes back to. It finally goes to the paladin, who you're looking down, and you see that there is now this one tusk that's basically ripped through the center of your armor and hit you a little bit. Your beautiful armor. So
And now it adds to my badassness. Did it detach from the mammoth?
no, it's still surprisingly still on the mammoth.
Ah, damn it. Okay. Well, there's going to be a couple of things happening now. First off, my aura of Crusader's Mantle will activate.
Nice. Oh, this is gonna be dirty.
And then I will activate Aura of Vitality.
Nice.
Nice. And that should be your action, right?
Let me just see.
Casting
I
that.
can't do this at all. Crusader's Mantle and... Actually, I can only do one of those. So I'm just gonna do Crusader's Mantle for now. Since nobody's really hurt.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
wait, I have two actions, right?
let me look at what Crusade. He's using a homebrew. So I'm just looking to remember what Mantle does.
Mantle, I'll read it for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Holy power radiates from you in an aura of 30-foot radius, awakening boldness in friendly creatures. So all of your hair falls off. Until the spell ends, the aura moves with you, centered on you. While in the aura, each non-hostile creature in the aura, including you, deals an extra 1d4 radiant damage when it hits with a weapon attack.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah. So yeah, that will be your action. You get this aura of, the Cater's Mantle, and now, basically everybody, you and all the enemies are inside of it.
Yes.
So,
No,
Right.
not the enemies, just the element.
yeah, they're within the mantle. They don't get anything out of it, but yeah. All right, and so with that, we go back to the wizard.
All right. So, let's see. I kind of backed away a little bit. So the paladin is the half orc. Is he? You said he's prone, right? Is he like somewhere in the middle of the room?
Basically, everything is like 10 feet away from you now because everyone is close to distance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody's like within a few feet of each other, right in the middle of the room. Then.
Yeah. There's basically a big dog pile, and you 10 feet away.
Oh, wait a second. I'll use my bonus action as well.
Well, okay. What do you want to do?
You can use a bonus action to cause one creature in the aura, including you, to regain 2d6 hit points.
So you're gonna use it on yourself, I'm guessing.
Well, nobody else is hurt.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So go ahead and roll 2d6, and oh wow,
That's
good
10.
rolls. Yeah. So you can give yourself that back.
This is a pretty badass aura, by the way.
What level spell is that?
3.
Yeah.
Actually, it's one of my class things, so I can cast it any
Oh.
number of times.
Nice. All right. Looking through all those spells.
Yeah. Okay. I have a lot of like AOE stuff that causes a lot of damage, but I don't want to hurt anybody in the party. So I think
If you think it might hurt me, you're probably safe because I'll be having any attacks you do. So I'll do better with the attack than they will.
Are you totem or are you
The path of the berserker.
Then magic still does full damage to you.
Okay, well I'll live through it though.
um
Oh shit!
He's at our feet, so he has pretty good saving throws.
I have to roll a save real quick. Okay, you said 10? Okay, we're fine.
All right.
all right. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. Ander, as he took his steps back from his last turn, sees that the zombies came in towards the paladin, and he kind of watched the mammoth charge its way in, and he was shifting his way back, kind of having his left hand out in front of him with his right hand gripping his quarterstaff. What he's going to do now is he's going to use ice knife towards one of the zombies. So are the zombies? How close are the zombies together?
They're mummies. At this point, they're right next to each other.
Okay, perfect. So you'll see kind of Ander bring his right arm back with the quarterstaff, and he lunges it forward. And as he does so, the dragon claw seems it looks like a frozen version of it, just shoots off with the tip of the staff, and it goes towards the closest mummy to him. And with that, I make a ranged spell attack, which is 14 plus 9. So
You hit.
23.
Yeah, you just need 11.
Okay, perfect. So 1d10 piercing damage. So that's going to be 4 piercing damage. And the shard explodes, and the target and each creature within 5 feet must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
Nice.
So the target and any creature within 5 feet of it, dexterity saving throw.
All right. That's everybody.
The DC save is going to
Just enemies or everybody?
it's going to say everybody, the target and each creature within 5 feet.
Well, guess what? Everybody's within 5 feet.
Everybody.
I rolled a 17 plus 3 is 20.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. My DC is 17, so.
All right, Goran, go ahead and roll a d20 dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god. That's 9. That's 16.
16. Did you add your 4 for Crusader's Mantle?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I mean, not for
I don't have.
not Crusader's Mantle, but for your.
My saving throw on charisma is actually 8, not 4.
30.
Wait, yeah, your 4 for your
Dex.
protection thing. What's your dex? Oh, he did get it. Yeah, because his dexterity is bad. Alright, so Mammoth actually crit it. So what that's gonna look like is like as the ice shatters, the Mammoth's kind of moving away. That all of these shards just kind of fly through, just nicking a couple bones, but for the most part passing through it. Also, the mummy that you did not hit is gonna escape, but the mummy you hit's pretty screwed. How much damage is it hit him?
So yeah, that ice knife lands right inside the ribs.
Yeah.
And it's gonna do a total of 8 damage as it explodes. So just kind of like ripping some of those cloth pieces out and exposing what's underneath.
Yep. If they made dexterity throws, then it doesn't do anything.
No. If they say If they're safe, then they don't take any damage.
Alright, but Gorin is going to take that 6 damage.
Yeah, no, it'd be 8.
8. Oh, yeah, you're 8 damage. Sorry.
I'm taking 8 damage.
Yep. Your friend hit you. That would have been really interesting if you would have hit the barbarian.
Well, he's pretty nifty while he's prone.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you should have got advantage because you were prone, but I don't care. And is that your turn? Or are you gonna do any movement or anything?
I think at this point I'm going to use my bonus action to kind of take another couple steps back to reposition myself since everybody has come up. And I would like to, I'm not sure if I can do this as a bonus action, but where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Use healed as a reaction. So can I?
Reaction is you use it
when I need
yeah
it.
when you get attacked. Yeah.
So it's not something I could like prepare. Okay.
You don't have to prepare it. It's already prepared basically.
Okay, got it.
All right. And where did you move?
I just took a couple more steps backward.
All right.
So like away from the center of the room.
Okay. Yeah. How many feet would you say that is?
I'll move another 10 feet. I guess.
All right. Yeah. So you're now 20 feet away from everybody. It's the barbarian's turn. You're on your back between 2 mummies, and a mammoth, basically.
Who are about to be your daddies.
Okay, so I'll stand up, which uses half my movement. And I guess there's 2 mummies. There's one on either side of me, and
Yep.
then the mammoth is still there.
Yep.
I guess I'll just I'll skip it. I'm still gonna attack recklessly, and I'm gonna do it. The first attack will be reckless, and it will be against the mammoth.
All right.
So a 16 plus 8 plus
Hit.
2, so it's 26.
You only need 13.
And then that's a D12. So 2 plus 3, so it's 11 damage.
All right.
The second roll is also an 18. And 4, 10, 13 points of damage, so
All right.
I'll just keep attacking that that mammoth.
Yeah, you break a couple ribs,
Love to crit on this guy.
but with this mammoth being really skeletal, it's not that big of a deal. It goes to the mummies after that, and one mummy is going to attack the barbarian. The other is going to attack the paladin.
They get advantage attack.
No.
Advantage attacking you.
Oh, they do. So
But I get protection on him, so that removes an advantage.
really,
Oh.
wow. Well, they all missed. So once again, like these mummies do less like attacking and more crushing. The mammoth is gonna go next, and he's gonna rear back on 2 of his legs, and then just go to stomp the paladin. But he is also going to embarrass himself.
It's a gentle breeze that sort of helps the icy crusting on my armor
Yep.
that I have got now.
This is why GM shouldn't roll in front of players. Just lie. Oh, it hit. 200 damage. Speaking of that, it is your turn, Goran.
I yell, yes, keep attacking me. Apparently these creatures don't have what it takes.
Wait, did you use Crusader's Mantle on your attack?
Yes, so
Okay.
he gets plus 1d4 of energy level
Yeah.
on each of his attacks.
So roll 2 extra d4 and I'll add that to your damage.
The barbarian.
Yeah.
I rolled 2 4s.
Nice.
Nice. Got
All
lucky.
right.
Yeah.
58. All right. Go ahead, Goran. Your turn.
Thank you.
I know what my bonus action is going to be: healing myself of damage from my own friends.
Now, okay. You did remember that you had that bonus health from your inspiration, right?
Actually, I do not think I get it. I think everybody else gets it, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You don't get it. I don't think. I'll have to look it up.
So, yeah,
But-
we'll look it up. Never mind now.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus action. But for my action, I will do something extravagant.
And that is.
Create food and water. No, I'm kidding. Is this item here, does it need a tuning to, or what are we talking about? The one that I'm holding?
You can inspire yourself. So honestly, you've probably lost all that health, but you should be at full health now. So,
Yeah,
you're not
full health minus
inspired
8,
anymore.
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know how much. If you just attack with your weapon and then smite, you're gonna do massive damage to these people.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. Divine Smite.
All right. Are you gonna hit the skeleton or the
Is Woolly Mammoth easier to hit?
the mummies are 11, the mammoth is 13. So not too big of a difference.
Okay.
But you have a warhammer, right?
I have a Warhammer, yes.
Yeah, and so that bludgeons. So if you hit the skeleton, you basically do double damage because you're crushing the bones.
Okay, I'll do the skeleton then.
All right. So go ahead and roll.
Or if there were mummies.
That's a loss. The mammoth is a skeleton.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the mammoth then, and I hit for 17 plus.
Yep, that will hit. So roll your damage for the hammer.
Okay. That is 1d8 plus proficiency bonus, right? Or what is it?
Plus your strength.
Okay. Plus my strength, right? Then it's not proficiency bonus.
Pretty good.
Sorry,
It'll be
I
like plus 3 or something.
Let's see. I'll clear everything. Oh. That is 8 damage on the hammer, plus 3, that's 11,
Right.
plus 3 for radiant damage.
Alright, so that's 8 plus 3.
Plus 3.
So that's
3, that's 14.
Yeah.
And then
Well, once
smite
again, I'm
on top
doing
of that.
14, 28, 27. Alright, what level would you like to cast your Divine Smite at? At level 1, there's 2d8, and then each level over that, you get to roll extra d8.
Well, I have a question about it.
Yep.
Does it mean that I can't use it later if I say higher?
Nope, as long as you have, well,
Spell slot.
you have the spell slots, so you you have 2 third level, or you only have 1 more third level right now.
That's right.
But, yeah. First or second, like, first level, you do roll 2d8, and then second level, you roll 3d8. So, both of those are pretty good.
Oh, wait a sec. Crusader's Mantle and Fear are my oaths.
Yeah, you
They're
could
kind of
use,
free, right?
I'm trying to remember what Crusader's Mantle.
Crusader's Mantle is the one we have active.
Yeah,
That's
you
the one that gives
have
extra
the
damage to
ability. You already used your bonus. Alright, here's what you can do. Alright, I'll help you out. Go ahead and do you want to cast Divine Smite at
Yeah.
first level or second level?
I'll do it at second level. That's
All right, you'll roll 3d8.
That's
10
another
damage.
10.
All right, and then as your bonus action, since you didn't need to heal this turn, you can use debilitating strikes. So you can roll another d8.
Where did I put my phone?
That's 1. It's great.
Yeah, right. But yeah, you did 30 some damage that turn. That was a pretty successful turn.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to. Yeah, never mind. That's
yeah,
fine.
go ahead.
That's it.
Okay, not gonna be everything left to do. Wizard, it'll be your turn.
All right. To start off, I think what I'm going to do is use Misty Step again as a bonus action to kind of position myself about 10 feet behind the mummies. So I'm at their backs.
Nice.
And so I'm assuming I'm looking at the backs of them, and then now the mammoth is going to be to the just slightly to the left of them as I'm looking behind them.
Yeah, wherever. Doesn't matter.
Is the barbarian still prone on his back?
He got up.
Okay, but everybody's still within 5 or 10 feet of each other in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. So yeah, he kind of brings his hands in, pulls his cloak over tight again, and you see. I guess they wouldn't see it because their backs to him. But he goes in that little cloud, and he appears behind the mummies. So if the other two guys are standing there facing the mummies, they would see me just kind of appear out of thin air behind them. And as I do that, what I was going to use. I was going to go this. Yeah, I'm going to use Frostbite on one of the mummies. So I would kind of take my quarterstaff, raise it up over my head, and come down like a sword, and you would see this spectral version of my staff kind of coming down to hit the mummy in the back. And he needs to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 17.
He make it.
Made it? Dang it. All right, nothing happens.
Oh man, I felt bad. I wanted you to do it and finish him off.
That would basically give him disadvantage on his next attack roll, and be 2d6 full damage. But yeah, unfortunately, nothing happened. So.
All right. Barbarian's turn.
Did he murder me yet, or?
Not yet.
No, not yet. I'll see if I can injure you some tonight during the roll.
If you can do some whirlwind or something, that'd be great.
Sure. I'll go ahead and attack the mammoth again. I'm going to go ahead and attack recklessly for this. Rolled an 18, so plus 10 for 28. Clearly.
Definitely. Yep. And by the way, after the hit and smite by Francis, you can tell that some of the bone joints have separated, and it's definitely wobbly now.
20 points of damage?
Is that just one attack?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
You get 1d4 on top of that, right?
Yeah. You basically shatter this thing's neck, and you feel like if you hit it again, you can just destroy it.
Okay. So it's actually an additional 1 point for that d4.
Alright, yeah, it's in single digits now, so if you hit it, you kill it.
Alright, so 13 plus 10 is a 23.
Yep, how do you kill this thing?
Alright, so 20-something points. So as I've been just kind of swinging and attacking, that last one, I hit it, I put my foot up against his chest to get my axe back out, and this time I just sort of swing my axe, and then bring it straight across its forehead like I'm cutting wood, and that the great axe just cleaves and shatters his entire forehead like just like just an exploding ball of chalk or something. All that white skeletal dust goes flying out there, and then clattering down comes the two giant tusks and all of the bones and the skin hanging off of it. It just crumbles down in front of us. And then I just kind of turn to face the mummy and say, "Next!"
All right, great. So the mammoth is down. It's the mummy's turn. The mummy, who has been attacked once by the wizard and then barely survived a second attack, is going to turn around and begin walking toward the wizard. How far away did you miss the step?
I said I was 10 feet behind them.
All right, 10 feet. So this is going to incite opportunity attacks by both Francis and Hagiel. So you two can roll.
25 to hit.
Yep. You can roll damage.
3 plus 6 plus 3, so 12 points.
All right, and Goran, this thing's walking.
23
All right.
to hit.
Yeah, you can roll damage.
This thing's gonna die before he gets to me.
That's the dream. Well,
That's 12 damage.
how much damage did you say that you did, Hagiel?
They both did 12.
They're both a jolly. I think I wrote something wrong. All right. Well, this thing is still going to survive and walk toward the wizard, and it's gonna try to hit you with its rotting fist, and it is gonna hit you with it.
I will use a shield as a reaction to give you +5 to my AC, making it 18.
All right, it is still gonna hit you. Yeah. So you are gonna take 2d6 plus 3. Oh,
Damn.
15 bludgeoning damage plus.
He's bringing it.
That's karma.
Plus 10 more necrotic damage.
That's 10 necrotic.
10 necrotic, that sucks.
And roll a Constitution saving throw just for the heck of it.
With the plus.
Natural 20.
All right, you are not a mummy, or you don't have the mummy's curse.
Good.
But all right, and then the second mummy is gonna keep swiping at this paladin. There's something about the shiny armor / staff you're holding, or you were holding, that attracts it to you. But attracts it too much because this guy, I don't even know why this guy is playing. The highest he's rolled is like a 4. So yeah,
Even
once
from
you
mummy,
like at this point, like his straps of cloth have been tied together, so he's basically in a straitjacket right now, just trying to get out and hit you, and it's pretty embarrassing.
And as he's rubbing against me, I'm complaining about the destroyed trophy of the mammoth head.
Great. And speaking of that, it is your turn.
Okay, well I have my bonus action reserved, I see.
Oh, let me do one more thing. I'm just gonna make a wisdom saving throw, barbarian.
Oh, my speciality. 6.
Shit. You will be frightened, but I don't think you can be frightened while you're in rage.
Cannot be.
So it did nothing. Alright, go ahead, Gordon.
Jesus, I'm an idiot. Okay, I go over to hit the mummy that is hitting on our mage friend there. And I have 2 attacks, which I've kind of forgotten the entire game.
You still have this mummy right in front of you. So, to get to the other one, you had to walk past this one.
Oh, in which kind of condition is this one?
He hasn't taken any damage, but he's not very. Feel like his brain has to take first because he's the one that's been grinding on you the whole game instead of hitting you.
I smack him twice.
All right. Just
And that's a ridiculous hit on both times.
all right. Roll damage twice.
Yeah, in a second. That's 5 plus
13 plus 6, 19.
plus 6. That's 25.
All right. Oh wow. Are you gonna smite him, or no?
No.
All right. Well, just that took him about half damage.
And then I'm gonna do a nice little heal on our friend over there.
Does he have to be within? What spell are you using?
The mantle still.
Oh yeah. So what did he roll?
11 points back.
All right, Jared. If you need it, you get 11 points of health.
I would love 11 points of health.
All right. And as you feel the healing energy go through you, it rolls over to your turn.
All right. So the mummy in front of me? How far away is he from the group in the center of the room?
He's about 10 feet away. How far away you were?
Okay. Here's what I would like to do. I would like to take one small step back.
All right.
For
45.
Yeah, just kind of like taking a step back to create maybe like a foot of distance from
Yep.
me and Dalton. Not really disengaging or moving away.
Yeah, you get a free 5.
Okay, then yeah, I'll move that 5 steps back. What I would do is I will use my quarterstaff and kind of whirl it around over my head with my other hand, and you hear him kind of whisper a couple words, not really understanding what it is, but his eyes get a little brighter, and a couple what looks to be like little tiny tornadoes start to form right in front of him, and as he's whispering these words, he starts speaking louder and louder and louder, and he starts swinging his arm and his staff faster, and this purple sand that's coming down from the ceiling starts to come up, and it creates this wall in front of him, about 10 feet wide, it's 10 feet thick, and it's about 20 feet high, and the mummy in front of him is encased in this wall of sand. So it's a concentration spell, Wall of Sand, but I'm using it to kind of keep that mummy where he is, so I can kind of maneuver my way around to the side.
Okay. Are you gonna move at all, or is that gonna be your turn?
Yeah. I'm gonna move around to the side so I can. The mummy's it blocks line of sight, but he can still move. But it costs 3 feet for every movement of 1 foot for him to move. And he's directly in the center of that wall, so he's 5 feet in, and he's got another 5 feet in any direction to get out if he wants to move forward, back, or side to side.
Yeah, he can be pretty much trapped in there.
Yeah.
So, if you keep that up, then he's pretty much screwed. But
yeah. It doesn't do any damage, but he's stuck. So I'm just gonna position. I'm gonna keep that up. Like kind of my hands and my staff above my head, moving to the side so I can see what else is going on, and perhaps maybe on my next turn cast another spell if I can.
All right.
Yeah.
Hagagel, you see 2 mummies, which one of them is in this wall. The other one is right in front of the paladin. If you hit either with both attacks, you'll probably kill it.
All right, so the one in front of the wizard, I can reach him from here?
Yeah.
You can't see him because he's in the sand.
Okay.
Okay, so the one in front of the paladin, I'm going to go ahead and attack recklessly.
Okay.
So 13 plus 10 is 23.
You only need 11.
And,
go ahead and roll the check attack too.
Okay, so the first one hits for 16 points.
All right. If they
Second,
hit,
second attack is a 14.
yeah, it kills. Explain how you kill it.
He gets
Okay.
plus.
Yeah, so I go ahead and it's the mummy, right? It's right in front of him,
Yep.
and he's made of just basically old, dried, withered flesh. And so, I'm swinging as though I'm trying to hit something that's living, but instead, what is I just go to chop him right in his chest? It just kind of seems to just pass right through him, and so the clothes and the meat and the still kind of squirming arms all just kind of fall down in a big shambled mess. And I reach down and pick up his like what remains of his shirt and all the goop that's on there, from the undead, and like wipe off the. I make a move like I'm wiping off his shiny armor, but it's just getting more gooey dead person crap all over his armor when I'm wiping off the paladin's shiny, pretty silver. Sorry about that.
All right. It'll be the mummy's turn, and he can kind of move in the sand, but he wouldn't get to anybody. So you could, either one of you can finish him off however you want. I don't care. Goran, your turn. Is a mummy? Well, you can't see this mummy, can you?
Yeah, nobody can see it because the wall of sand is blocking line of sight. But I mean, if I could see, I'm sure I see the other zombie or the other mummy die by the hand of the barbarian. I could nod to. I think this is what Andrew's going to do. He's going to kind of nod to Francis, and assuming Francis is going to position himself, close to the mummy, I think I'll nod to him and let him know that I'm going to release the wall of sand and allow him to make his attack.
Yeah. And by doing this, the mummy will just kind of fall prone at Francis' feet. And so, Francis, you have advantage. If you hit it, you can kill it. So.
I'd like to do a fancy move.
All right, go for it.
I position myself sort of like a golfer to the side
Nice.
and swing to decapitate, aiming at, looking up and then down and then up again, aiming at our barbarian's head.
All right, roll.
That is
That
a
will hit.
9
Yeah, that will hit.
plus a lot.
Yep. So, roll strength again. Just a flat strength. Oh, you know what? I'll roll. That
20.
roll. All right. Yeah. So, you hit exactly what you're aiming for. What were you trying to hit the barbarian in the head?
I was using the mummy as sort of a golf ball holder, and its head as a golf ball.
Yep.
And I was aiming at our barbarian's face with the head of the mummy. So I'm doing a swing with my hammer.
All right, barbarian, make a dexterity saving throw. If you think you knew it, then go ahead and you have advantage. It's a dangerous shit.
12.
Not gonna be enough. You get hit by the head. I'll roll. I'll call this a improvised weapon. Roll 1d4, Goran, and then add.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh. Oh shoot. So roll 1d4.
3.
Okay. So you hit the barbarian for
10.
10
I rolled a
damage.
10.
All right. Then you
How do I hit him for 10 damage? How does that happen?
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Hit and then roll your d4 because it's Crusader's Mantle.
Wait,
didn't
no.
decapitate
The
the
head
barbarian.
doesn't have. The head doesn't have a.
Wait, is that a wisdom? I have to make a wisdom saving roll?
No, it's just dexterity. Yeah.
Oh, so I rolled a 9.
It's okay.
I'm
I'll
a -1 for wisdom, so I actually failed.
no, for this sake, I'll just call it a flat 10 because I don't want to get into these mechanics.
No, I'm like,
Yeah. All right. So, go ahead. If you're still enraged, take 3 damage.
Yep.
and then this encounter's gone. You see this staff, and you realize that this staff is so powerful it brought like everything back to life in the room. So maybe you should take a little bit better care of it. Sand has kept on pouring into the room. If you want, you can take the staff and grab whatever else you want, and go and meet everybody up top. So
For a second, I am standing ankle deep in sand with my golf stick over my shoulder and saying, "Oh, what do you know? You get head today anyway."
I'll grab one ivory tusk and throw it over my shoulder.
Where is the staff? Because if he was using two hands to do that golf swing, I'm assuming that
he probably dropped it and it's back laying in the sand being covered up.
Okay, in that case, Ander would have gone to the staff immediately as the wall of sand came down and the staff was dropped, because I think he's going to find this thing to be the most precious, thing, considering his past with his parents and his whole reason for being here. That's kind of a big deal to him, so he's going to go pick that up and grab it.
All right, what are you going to do, Francis? Grab anything or just...
Yeah, I'm gonna look for anything that's in that gold chariot, something fun.
Yeah, and you see, the chariot itself is a gold chariot. There's not really anything small inside. But you see all sorts of golden, like, figurines and, like, jade statuettes and, this perfume and herbs and stuff. Whatever you like out of that, you can take.
I'll grab all of it into a bag.
All right. Yeah, so as you guys are collecting this, you hear a couple screams from up above you. And you hurry and run back up to the top of the hourglass, where you see between the excavation and the sand falling out that your rod did not only bring back to life what was down there, but also brought back to life this dragon of what is now a adult blue Draco Lich.
Shit.
No problem.
Challenge level 17.
Yes.
However, right now, only its head and one of its claws have been taken out of sand. However, as turns go by, it'll be a lot easier for this dragon to keep on moving out. But about the time you walk in, you just see this dragon stare at you. I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
With +4.
Yeah. You can add 4 to it.
So 22 plus 5 is 27.
All right.
So that's 10.
10? All right.
Do I roll the 4? Do I roll the 4, or do I just add 4?
No, you just add 4.
Okay, so 12 minus 1 is 11 plus 4 is 15.
Well,
I'm wrong. It's 9 plus 4 is 13. Sorry.
All right. Well, if you did not roll a 18, then you are frightened at this dragon. You can keep on rolling each turn, but each turn you wait is another turn that this dragon has to get free.
Would my rage have still continued since we just finished fighting?
Probably. If you never turn your rage off, well, no, your rage will be gone. It only lasts a minute.
It ends with combat.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. But it only lasts a minute. So you'd have to re-rage. But right now,
I
you're
can't.
not raged.
Level 9, you should have like 4 rage points, right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Well, his thing is, can he be feared? But your rage would have worn out by now. And so we'll keep the same order. This Draco Lich rolled pretty bad, so it will be going last. But we'll go back to the wizard. You'll have advantage against everything because this thing is in the sand.
Perfect.
But you need to hit a 19.
Okay. So, upon surfacing, seeing everybody scatter, and I think what helped the wizard is A, hearing the screams, B, remembering what it was that's up there, and kind of having an idea as to what happened before he got there, and C, knowing the history behind creatures that are, what's the word, not local, like kind of local to the area, I suppose. So that's kind of what helped him save from the fear. So he comes up, and he kind of sheathes the staff of life in his underneath his cloak, in his sash or belt, and he starts whirring, like spinning his quarterstaff over his head as he starts to emanate this even more of a blue glow about him, and his eyes turn this even whiter white than they were. There's no more blue in his eyes; it's all just a white light, and this cloud starts to take place over the top of the dragon, and little by little, these tiny ice rocks start to come down. And let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm using essentially casting Ice Storm, so the creature has to make a Dexterity saving throw, DC 17.
It'll be at disadvantage.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it got 17 exactly. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's going to somehow, like,
Okay, so it takes 2d8. I'm casting it at 5th level spell. It's the 4th level. I'm casting it at 5th, so it does an additional d8. So it'll be 3d8 plus 4d6. Half that much on a failed or on a successful save. So 4d6 and 3d8. 2, 3. So 7, 14, 15, 21, 24, 29, 34. Half of 34 is 17 points of okay, so that's gonna be
17 cold damage?
no, the cold damage is 5, 10.
Pretty brutal first hit, man. That's nice.
Yep.
19, half of 19 is rounded down. That's going to be, what, 9? 9 cold damage and
17.
7.
Okay, yeah, together. And 8. Yeah. Alright, I got it.
Brutal!
Alright.
That's bludgeoning against skeleton is doubled, right?
Not for a Draco Lich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah.
Alright.
Even on a successful save, that's still...
Yeah. I have no clue how he made that disadvantage, because he has no dex bonus.
That's pretty, that's pretty crazy.
I rolled it in front of you guys. I don't know about this.
I know, we've seen it. Crazy.
Yeah. Barbarian, you are feared. You can use your action to roll again, trying to beat the wisdom throw.
So 8 plus 4 is 12.
That's not going to be good enough, so you're still going to be afraid. Paladin, you are also afraid. You can try to make your wisdom saving throw again. You are muted.
Sorry. I'm pretending that I'm just doing fine, standing there fixing my gloves and saying, yes, this fight is beneath me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish it off.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
roll my saving throw. And fail.
Ooh. Oh, man. This is actually going to be pretty bad for you, because now it's a Draco Lynch's turn, and it's going to look over and it's going to see the wizard that just hit him. However, it's going to see the 2 people who are frightened, and it is going to make a, you see it open its mouth, and lightning
Breath attack. Oh, shit.
twinkling inside. And so, I will let both of you make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
DC 20.
Let's see, 2 and 10, 3. So I got a 5 and a 13 because I get a roll dexterity with advantage. So
Yeah.
13's my better of the two.
You
You
get any
get plus
bonus?
4.
Yeah, you get +4.
Oh, so 17. 10 plus
17. Well, okay. What about you, Goran?
I fail.
You
Oh,
fail?
damn.
Okay. Well, both of you failed because you need a DC 20. And this attack is supposed to do 12d10.
That is brutal.
However, with this, Draco Lynch kind of whatever left of its lungs being compressed underneath the sand, it's not going to get a full strike. So
it's
I'm only going to
11
roll
D10.
half the dice. No, I'm only going to roll 6d10.
Oh shit.
And what? This is electric damage?
This is lightning damage.
Yeah, I got full. Even if I was raging, I'd get full on
10,
this.
20. Each of you are going to take 28 damage.
It's not that
wait.
bad.
Yeah. Well, I could roll the rest of d10 if you like. Would you rather take 30, 40, 50 some damage? But no, you take 28.
Isn't Francis wearing metal armor?
But he wears rubber boots just in case.
Yeah, luckily, that hole that was going to his armor has broke the flow, and somehow, like the ooze from the decaying mummies has helped too. But I did roll a 6, which means I have recharged the lightning breath for next turn.
Nice!
Dude,
Oh, fuck me.
this is excellent. This is the kind of combat that I've always wanted.
Yeah, and you also begin seeing this other claw as Draco is trying to fight it back out of the sand. And
shit.
I don't know. Maybe it will have a second claw. But
Oh, sure, now I roll a 20.
yeah, now that doesn't matter. All right, back up to you, Ender.
All right. I'm gonna continue the same thing. I haven't stopped my movement. I started the first time. I'm doing it again. I'm just gonna keep doing it. This time, I've got 2 more level 4 slots, and I'm just gonna expend those and use the Sunstorm as many times as I can. So that hail is still pouring down on them.
Well, this time it's not gonna make it at disadvantage.
Nice.
So full damage.
So 3. Okay, it's 4th level, so it's only 2d8. And I believe it was 3d6. 2d8 bludgeoning and 4d6 cold. All right, so 2d8 bludgeoning is going to be 10, and then the cold damage is going to be 2 6 is 12, 4 is 16, 17 cold damage.
All right. I mean, you see that as the ice is beginning to like form over the skeleton and the bludgeoning damage, like bits of the horns of this Draco Lich are beginning to break and shatter. It still looks pretty lively, but you're doing damage to it.
Yeah, and the terrain is difficult terrain until the end of my next turn.
Well, I mean, it's already in pretty difficult terrain, so
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to really have much of an effect, but...
Back to Barbarian Friend. You can roll another saving throw.
Yeah, I already rolled the 20 for my wisdom saving throw when is my next turn. But that's my whole turn, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you already rolled it. That came in handy.
Can I use the bonus action?
Yeah, you can rage.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I'll rage. So, is that everything?
Yep. Goran, you can make another saving throw. You're supposed to be good at wisdom. You're rolling like that mummy.
That's fucked up.
Can I not run if I'm feared? Like, what's going on?
You're supposed to be moving away from it,
Yeah.
kind of. But,
Okay.
yeah, it's... not good. So, this turn, it's going to go back to the Draco Lich, and you see one of these claws is going to come out and just try to swipe the wizard into the sand.
Oh, damn.
12. Do you have your
My mage armor's still on. So
mage
my
armor? So you have 13.
13, yeah.
Well, this will be a 15.
So I can use my shield to add +3 or +5.
Yeah. So +5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Draco Lich is gonna reach down, and you see it like clawing against the wall, getting ready to grasp you, but it hits this shield, and you just see almost this transparent magic as it claws down, just barely missing you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like you would see the claw kind of come in contact with this invisible shield until he made contact with it, and you would see like this 3-pointed shield made out of ice that just kind of cracks and explodes, and shards of fake ice kind of go exploding everywhere.
And you will see the Draco Lich finally be able to break the second claw out of the sand. However, he tries to swing at Gorin, but he didn't have the mobility quite yet. But the Draco Lich now has 2 claws to attack with each turn.
All right.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and basically, let me explain this. This is gonna make it a little more epic. The way that the sand has been going through the hole has kind of turned it into, the middle's a lot lower than the sides.
Mhm.
Hypothetically speaking, if you get swiped into the sand and you don't make a good dexterity saving throw, you could roll right next to this Draco Lich's mouth, where it can bite you.
Oh snap!
But unless you get that close, it's going to be able to bite you. But back up to the wizard.
All right, I'm going to. This is gonna be the last round I can do it, but I'm gonna keep that ice storm going, and you're gonna see the intensity emanating from me. Just it get even more intense. He intensifies even more. So he feels the throw.
Full damage.
All right, so now, since it's the third round he's been doing it, you're going to see the cloud get much darker and what looks to be like lightning within the storm cloud above him. And it doesn't strike down, but these flashes of light just kind of create streaks through the air. And the hail is getting even bigger. So that's going to be 13 points of bludgeoning damage, along with 16 cold damage.
Ooh, alright. 13 plus 16, about 30. Alright, yeah, and you see that, one of the Draco Lich's horns its one horn has almost shattered at this point, and that, the eyes is beginning to form around its mouth, and it's definitely taking really good damage. But
Yep.
all right, to the barbarian.
All right, so I walk around the side and come in from behind. You got an arm over here and an arm over here in his head. So I'm going to come in from behind his head, and I'm going to hit between the horns. And I'm going to attack him. The first attack will be recklessly.
All right.
Ugh, 18 and 16. And so an 18?
You need to hit a 19.
Second attack is a 29. Well, it's a 19, but with plus 10.
Yeah.
All right. So that one. Do 6 plus 9, 15 points of damage.
All right. It's not bad.
Love to do a 20 right now. Crit would help out a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and what's it called? And go into a frenzy. And when I go into a frenzy, I can then add in an additional action as a bonus. I mean, a weapon attack as a bonus action
Yep.
on each turn. But at the end of this, I'll be exhausted.
hmm
So
Awesome.
11, 21,
21. That will hit.
and 4, 9, 13 more points of damage.
All right. And yeah, you
that-
begin shattering the back vertebrae, and
Do we still add the D4 to the damage? I forgot to add those.
no, you're in a new area.
New area. Okay, good. Thanks.
All right, back to the paladin. Finally, let's see if you can break this frightened curse.
Why would I do that? This is going great without me. Yeah, I think that does it.
Yeah, I'll say that does it. You can cast a bonus action this turn if you want.
I'm over 20.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do what can I do? What'd you say?
If you have a bonus action, you can cast it, or you can move.
Yeah, I'll do the bonus action.
All right.
Just a second. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, by the way, you already had advantage, because he was in the sand, so you didn't have to frenzy if you did, or not frenzy, but
Oh, reckless?
reckless.
Oh, I should have rolled
Yeah.
with advantage on my second attack. Darn it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's just savor it.
All right. You're finally not afraid. So, yeah, now you're like, these guys might need my help. All right. Well, since this Dracolich has 2 claws attack now, its first claw will go at the wizard again. Critical miss. So,
He cuts his own head off.
yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll roll the second one at disadvantage. Your luck.
Oh,
Roll at disadvantage. So he still will hit,
yeah.
but he won't crit. And that's gonna do against you, Goran.
Against me?
Yeah, 2d6.
Oh man.
So 1 hit, 15 slashing damage to you. And also the thing about these bones is they should have the tendons that keep your head in place. So this Dracolich is going to turn his head a full 180 and try to bite the barbarian that just hit him.
Alrighty.
That puts a twist on things.
16. That will hit, right?
16 hits.
Yep. All right. I thought that made it pretty epic.
That is.
I figure he's got to put up a good fight. All right. That's gonna do 19 piercing damage. So you can half that.
Piercing, so 19, 18, 9 points.
Yep. But that is 10 lightning damage that you don't get half.
Oh shit.
Good to go.
All right. But that's the Dracolich's turn. Go back to the wizard. And remember, now at this point you have a friend that's right next to the dragon.
Yeah.
And you can make your roll if you want. I have a feeling it won't change much.
No, I can't use Ice Storm anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, I was talking to Edgar Gale. Do what you make it.
I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of take a couple steps back to press my back against the wall to try and get as far away from the dragon's reach as I can.
Oh, shoot.
What I'm going to do now is, as I'm holding my quarterstaff in my right arm, you can see him breathing heavily after holding that Ice Storm up for, as long as he did. But what I'm going to do now is more of a defensive move. I just kind of put my left hand out in front of me, and as the palm of my hand starts to, you see little, like a a glyph appear, like a little glowing glyph appear in the palm of my hand, and I'm essentially casting Blade Ward to give myself resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna kind of lower my shoulders and take a couple deep breaths here and prepare for my next turn.
Now that I look at it, Dragoliches actually have burrowing speed. So this fight could be horrible for you, but we'll say the sand is packed in a lot tighter than normal. All right, Barbarian, your turn.
Alrighty. So I roll a 12 to save against the damage I took from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I have a feeling you're going to attack this guy regardless.
Sorry, that?
I have a feeling you're going to attack this guy regardless.
True. Okay, and then the first attack with advantage is 15 plus 10 for 25. And then the second attack with advantage, come here, is 18 plus 10, it's 28 to attack. So both of those should hit, right?
Yeah, are you going to frenzy?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, and then so I get a third attack, right?
Yep.
Frenzy. And that is a crit 20.
And you improve critical, right?
Yes, I do. So the first attack, D12, 9. Oh, so 10 plus 9 is 19. And the second attack, come on, 2 plus 9 is 11. And then the critical, I get to roll 3d12, 15, 17, plus 9 is 26. So.
You have shattered the horn on this thing's head, and it's went from almost bloody to definitely, a lot closer to death than life.
I moved over around. He's facing me. I walked over right to his eyeball, and I'm just attacking right where his eyes should be. Just hacking away.
Stop fucking up our trophies.
All right. Finally, the paladin might be able to do something.
I think my life is a good enough trophy.
No, on this one it will be.
So yeah, I'd like to kick this thing's ass.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm gonna double smite it.
Yes.
All right. Yes, you jump in there and you. So go ahead and roll 2 attacks.
Let me just find some dice here.
I'm hoping you don't kill it. You could have to kill it.
That would be nice.
I missed twice. How about that?
You had advantage. Did you roll with advantage? You rolled 2 dice for each attack. So you missed your first attack.
I missed my first attack, yeah. Finally. Second one hits.
Alright, so you hit it, and
And
you're gonna smite it?
yes.
Okay. So
Second
roll normal damage just for your weapon first.
That's 9.
9? Alright. Now roll what level you smiting at?
2.
2? Alright, so roll 3 D8.
7.
Nice.
21.
Alright. 30. Alright. Now roll 1 more D8.
Uh-oh.
4.
4. Alright. So it's gonna resist that necrotic damage. But it's going to fail your debilitating strike.
We like that.
So you can blind it, charm it, poison it, or reduce its speed to 0. Which would you like to do?
Are you saying charm it?
Yeah, you can charm it. Is that what you pick?
What
Like
does
you
it
have-
reduce it to 0?
Wait. Well, basically this is your debilitating strike. So you can choose to blind it, charm it, poison it, or it can't move, but already can't move.
How awesome is Charm It?
The other two of you could talk, could be yelling at him to tell him what you think.
I would love to have it charmed.
Yes,
so that
I'll do that.
All right.
Just for the fuck of it.
All right, nice. So how do you attempt to charm this thing?
Well, I think I'd get over to it, and we'll see if I can help it with the leg that's been jammed in the sand from that critical miss.
All right.
Go, there, everything's okay now.
And it's at this moment you realize that Draco Lynches are immune to being charmed.
Of course they are.
I knew it.
All right. So, but this thing is almost dead. It knowing that it probably won't survive another round. It is going to attack the wizard and hit it. And so, claw once again is gonna, with you in the walkway, it's gonna take its claw
19.
and just you see it scratching, leaving these deep incisions against the wall as it just slaps you and pushes you about right in front of it. So you are going to take
0 damage? That sounds good to me.
D6 plus 7.
Now, what type of damage is this? Because I have resistance.
Yeah, this is slashing.
Okay.
So you're going to take
It'll be
half of 17, 8.
Nice.
8. Since the paladin is already at this claw, I'm going to give it advantage. And with advantage, well, even without advantage, it's going to hit. So once again, it's going to take the claw and push it in front of it. And paladin, you're going to take 14 damage. Branches.
You bastard.
Yep. And then it's going to once again try to bite the barbarian. Which it will do for 2d10 damage.
Yeah.
For 24 damage.
Is that piercing that damage?
That's piercing.
So 12?
Since I'm GM and I make the rules, with its first claw attack, it hit the wizard basically you're still in the walkway, but you're it can see you now as it's biting the barbarian, and did the same to paladin. So now all three of you are lined up.
Of course we are.
Within a 90-foot line, so that I can use lightning breath again. And so all of you can make a dexterity saving throw.
Come on now.
I don't know what my dexterity modifier.
All of you have +4 because you are close enough for the paladins.
All right, good. Well, a +4 is better than +0.
Yeah. I'm +3,
well,
+4.
Guess what?
I'm a 21.
You're 21. That's
I critically failed.
all right.
No.
What about you, Goran?
I failed.
All right. So the only person who passed is going to be the barbarian. So you'll take half of this damage.
Great.
Wait.
Is that 18, 24, 27?
Here, I'll add one more just heck of it. That's
32. 32 damage.
20. Yep. 32. So the two of you who failed will take 32 damage. The barbarian will take 16. And let me just roll again to see if it's recharged. It's not recharged.
Yay!
So the Draco Lich is going to end his turn right there. Wizard,
Okay.
did you survive all that? That was
I did.
lightning damage. That was lightning.
I did survive that. Okay, now how far are we away from the?
I'll say 60 feet because that's or 90 feet, somewhere between 60 and 90 feet. I don't care.
All right.
I'll go 90 feet. That's how far you had to be hit.
Okay, and what's the AC on this guy?
19. You all still have advantage. This thing is almost dead.
Okay, I'm going to use my other portent dice, which is 13, and my spell attack's 9, so that's going to make it 22 to attack.
That will hit.
I'm going to use my ice knife as the highest level I have possible, which is going to be a level 3.
All right.
So it deals 1d10 piercing, and it's going to be 4d6 cold damage.
All right. Your roll.
Yeah, so even though he's been like sliced and hit and moved, he swings his that staff of his towards this guy, just like screaming at it, and that giant dragon claw at the end of his staff like grows twice as big as normal, and it just goes directly towards this guy. So that's 4 piercing.
All right.
And what did I say? That's 2 extra d6. So yeah, total of 4d6 cold damage. That's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cold damage.
All right.
As the ice knife explodes.
Does it hit other people when it explodes?
No, only within 5 feet away from the point of.
Like the barbarians within 5 feet.
I thought you said we were all against the wall.
Oh well, I'm not going to count.
By its base.
Yeah.
I'm actually, but aren't I in by its head?
Yep. You were all in the line.
Yeah.
Just shoot you in the line.
I was over by its
I thought you
face.
said like when he.
No, you're good. I won't count the damage. This thing's almost dead. So barbarian, you want to finish it off?
Man.
Sure.
If you hit it with 2 out of 3, you'll probably kill it.
So I got a 19 on the first hit,
All you need is 19 to hit.
plus the 10 for 29. So.
Yep.
Next hit I get a 17, and my final hit would be an 18.
So only 1 attack hit.
Yeah.
Well, the 17 is plus my
Oh,
attack
yeah.
bonus.
Yeah,
So
then
it's
yeah.
actually a 27. The 18 is plus 10, so it's a 28.
Oh yeah, roll damage.
All 3 hit.
2, 3, 12s.
It
So-
had 20 health left.
Yeah.
Why don't you just explain how you destroy it?
13, 18, and 18.
I yell, not the head, not the face.
I stand on its head, and I put one foot in each eye socket, and I bring the blade down between his horns.
Yes.
And while it's doing this, I had failed my wisdom saving throw there. So I shriek out some sort of an orcish name that I don't even know what it is. And I just say, for Rolinthar! And I just swing right between my feet like I'm trying to cleave a piece of wood that I'm about to take into the farmhouse. And I just bury my blade in its head.
Yeah, and this instantly kills it, and almost as if it was like treading sand to stay on top of the sand to attack, its body just goes limp, and it's very quickly just submerged back to the sand as you jump off. So with that, you slayed it. You meet back up with Cal.
Wait, can I try and snag one of those dragon claws before it
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
disappears?
We'll say
Nice.
one of the claws, just like it was before, one of the claws is sticking out of the sand.
Oh, no. You know what's even better? Like when it clawed me, let's
Yeah.
say that as it scraped the wall while it was pushing me, the claw became dislodged from the bone and is sticking out of the wall right next to me.
I'll take that.
Perfect. Yeah, so I want that dragon claw to kind of place on the staff next to the one that's already on it.
Alright, well, you guys completed it. I guess the only big question you had to answer is now that you know the intense power of the Staff of Life, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it to
Revive the
Cal
dragon.
and let him go to the museum, or when you're going to keep it, or are you going to destroy it?
I have it. Well, I guess I would ask you this: did my parents know anything about the staff? Was this a part of their excavation quest back in the day? Because I know like that they wanted to know more information about the wizard that created the Mongrel Men. And now that I know who Archimedes is do I know that Archimedes was the wizard that created them, or not?
The way I like to think of mongrel men is they were kind of like a byproduct of the Spell War.
Ah, okay.
But as far as, I mean, they probably were looking for, this Archimedes wasn't the only wizard, but of course everyone knew of his legendary item. So there's no doubt that this is like the top treasure that people know about in the region.
Okay, so then this is definitely what my parents were after, and I think that given that I'm in possession of what it was my parents wanted, I think that anybody else would be hard pressed to get it from me.
All right. Either one of the other two of you want to talk about the way it ended for you, or?
So as I split his head, I reached down and, his face kind of breaking apart. I grabbed one of the dragon's teeth, and then I start to walk back to where I had left behind the horn from the mammoth, and throw that back over my shoulder. Stick the dragon's tooth in my backpack, and with the mammoth bone over this shoulder and my axe over this shoulder, I start walking toward the exit.
Great. What about you, Francis? How does this end for you?
Well, the immediate future is a lay on hands.
With the ladies or with yourself?
I guess eventually both.
A little bit of both.
And as Ander indicated, maybe even a quadrusum of some sort.
Nice.
But yeah, what happens to the rod? I wasn't listening.
Well, Ander would like to keep it.
Yeah, I'm keeping it just because this is, my parents gave their lives to find this, and now that I finally have it, it's going to be, I'm holding on to it just so I can take it back to the people they dealt with and try and find more information about it, and decide for myself what's best for the staff, if I want to keep it as a keepsake to remember them by, or do what they would have done with it. And I don't quite know what that is yet, but that's going to be my next step from here, is find out more information about it and ultimately decide where it's going to end up myself.
So I ask you, why is it, there is all these dead things that came to life to fight us over a stupid piece of wood all the way to the back. Why is everybody making such a big deal about this piece of wood? And is this a quest of good, or is this a quest of just your own selfishness?
This is more than just a piece of wood. This piece of wood was protected by Archimedes himself because it's what he thought could preserve his life for eternity. My parents gave their lives to find this. So out of respect for them, I'm going to do what I can to find out what's best for the staff in here.
Oh, out of respect for them, I think we should. I think that's fine. I think we should definitely have the excavation take credit for it and parade it past the museum for at least a couple of weeks. Don't you think?
It's not an item to be paraded.
I still don't understand if this is a good item or if you're just a greedy human who's trying to take advantage of something. Are you going to use this for good or for bad?
Definitely not for greed, but for good.
All right. Well, let me know if you need my help. I'm going to walk outside and punch one of those freaky little what'd you call them? The guys who are all
Mongrel Men.
Mongrel Men.
This tribe is called Blue Dar. But yeah.
I punch them right in the face and take their food. Sit down,
Francis,
and then I'm going to pass out.
Francis thinks that this thing definitely deserves a pass through the museum. Sure, your parents died for this, but everybody here almost died for it. 2 weeks is not a big thing to ask for, is it?
There will be a presentation, but this will not be for display.
What do you mean?
The risk of having this fall into the wrong hands is not one that I'm willing to take.
It's true.
Is that not? Is that risk less with only you having it?
There's no risk in me keeping it.
I see. Well, shall we say 1 week of presentation to the museum?
If I can be satisfied with security, I'll think about it.
We just beat the dragon. I think we can handle a week.
All right, and I
This is my
think
best smile.
I think right there is a nice epic pause to allow the one viewer who literally just joined to decide what happens, even though they have no clue, what we're talking about. But with that, I know it's getting a little bit late, and some people have things to do. I would have ended it a little bit early, but that Draco Lich fight was far too epic to leave out.
It was
But yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for playing, and with that, I'm gonna
Thanks for
end the
DMing.
broadcast. No problem.
Thanks for